The Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, we are loaded up today. In a minute, I'll show you the award that Rich and I got, a journalism award last night for Zionists of America. That is spectacular, creative, like no award I've gotten. Ro wants to put it in the living room. No, this goes in the Dom room, the most important room in the house. The only room that, if under attack, is a safe room and broadcast center. That's where we need to see it. That'll be on YouTube, not the living room. I'll show you that in a moment on YouTube. Here on Talk Radio 1210. Bob Brady here at 1:30. We'll ask Bob, who is a big-time labor leader, head of the Democrat committee. We'll ask him about this non-endorsement, but my God, the results yesterday, we actually have a poll here of union members, about 60% with Trump, only 31% with Kamala Harris. And I know you can say, but he didn't get the endorsement. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what world you're living in. This is a huge victory. There's like 1.3 million Teamsters, but more importantly, these union members across Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and the like. It's another very public signal. I would have been happier if they had endorsed him, but the numbers they released and the reason they couldn't endorse Harris are great. It's another indicator, at least the Republican Party under Trump is in the game. When it comes to the very voters, I mean, can you imagine Mitt Romney, Mitch McConnell, people like that? How in the world are they getting these guys in the numbers we're seeing to vote for them? And the answer is they couldn't. But I want to start with something that in the past, even in 2016, as I remember, somewhat in 2020, Trump did not talk as a main course about deporting people. He did not talk about that. The polling and whatever said, whoa, wait a minute, people don't believe you're going to do that. You know, it's not a majority. Well, now he is talking about it, and it's picked up since the debate. And the only thing I would say to button up, and he did button it up last night, I think, with Gutfeld. It was pretty funny on Gutfeld last night. He said, we're going to start by deporting the criminals. Now, we don't want to go into the weeds too much because then the media will just sig on that and attack that. But do the American people at this point, I'll put it this way, are they open to deporting people that are here illegally? And the answer is yes. Now, that doesn't mean they want to see a massive roundup day one or anything like that. We're talking about self-deporting, too, because it will be almost impossible to be able to work here illegally. So Janet Yellen, this woman has no political sense at all, and not much economic sense that I see. The Secretary of the Treasury is at a big event today. First, she said, if we started deporting people that are here illegally, inflation would go up. It would kill you. You think inflation is high now. It would kill you. And then she talked about the fact that the entire economy would be in trouble. Here we hear this excuse again, that if we didn't have people here illegally, this country is over. Listen to Janet Yellen.
There was a study, speaking of which, the other day that calculated that undocumented migrants account for 22% of agricultural workers, 15% of construction workers, 8% of manufacturing workers, and 8% of service workers, including child care workers. In your view, what would be the impact of removing all or most of them from the economy in a short time through a program of mass deportation?
Well, I believe that immigrants have always made and continue to make a positive contribution to the U.S. economy. Between, I think, 2010.
How about the word legal there somewhere?
You know, we have an aging population withdrawing. It's pushing down labor force participation. Between 2010 and 2018, immigrants made up I believe 60% of all additions to the labor force. They obviously contribute to the dynamism of the U.S. economy, and we need, I believe, an orderly immigration system. And there's obviously work to do for Congress to work with the administration to accomplish that, but I think it would be devastating to simply
remove that.
remove
Now,
this number of immigrants.
Okay, so yeah, how about that as a setup, guys? Is that the Sorkin guy? It might be. Worse than David Muir with Kamala Harris. Well, you know, they got to make this percentage, that percentage, and all that. You start deporting. Oh, my God, the country's over. Are you in the camp that believes that? The majority of Americans don't. They want this nonsense to end. They feel inundated, and they're right. It's not just the illegal immigration. It's all these policies like the Haitian policy, the Ukrainian policy, the Venezuelan policy. Endless policies. They know exactly what Democrats are doing. So Trump would not have said this in 2016. Yeah, he talked about building the wall. He talked about, but the word deport, we didn't hear any grand plan to do it, nor should he put a grand plan down. When asked about it, he said exactly the right thing last night. We're going to start with the criminals. Who's going to be against that? Democrats. 855-839-1210. You get on board. Now, as I mentioned, this situation where the Teamsters, who are a big labor force, and in addition to that, a name, a brand when it comes to unions, the last time they came close to endorsing or did endorse a Republican, strangely, was Herbert Walker Bush. That's because they knew he was going to win, and they knew Dukakis would not. So they wanted to get with the winning team. That goes way back to 1988. So since then, it hasn't even been close. What is it about Trump that puts him in the game? Well, it's his background, building trades, things of that nature. It's the fact that he is willing to see in areas of agreement to see what he can do with the union workers. And it's also because the membership is not woke. The average union guy. I mean, I go by a bunch when I'm coming into work in the morning out here in, they're around 30th and Market or so. There are tables there. They're getting off from work. It's lunchtime where their shift is done. And I just can't imagine. These are Kamala Harris voters. Now, here in Philadelphia, they're defiant, though. They're endorsing her. A guy named Richard Hooker is the leader of this. He's endorsing. And to this point that I just made, Henry has been on fire. We're going to have on Jim Lee today. I understand at 2:30. Yeah, 2:30. I'm not sure if he's still the head of the Springfield Township board over there, the political thing. We met him before because of the battle back and forth with the cops. And he was a signatory toward this welcoming refugees material that I told you about. Meaning, he'd be on board, as I understand it, we'll ask him straight up, with more Haitian refugees and more other of these refugees being brought into Springfield Township. So the other signatory that we had here locally, one was a pharmacist out in West Hampton, Norriton. And he said, Dom's a reputation, Henry, get out of here. Precedes him. That's it. I'm back to the pharmacy. Yep. Okay. But we did get a note from the Upper Marion Township Board of Supervisors, Miss Kenny, Carol Kenny. Now, we said that she also signed off. She doesn't want to come on, but they did give us a written response, and they're going to give a more formal statement at a later time. And they mention here, Henry, that rumors are circulating about a commitment made by the township to place 5,000 Haitian immigrants in our community. Well, we never said anything like that or close to that. What we did say is, and I don't think she denies it, right? I mean, there's no denial in here.
I mean, I feel like putting the 5,000 is,
right,
and is like you're telling on yourself a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say any number or anything of that nature. All I know is I wanted to get her on to find out why she would sign this, that she believes people in Upper Marion, apparently, would want to have resettlement of migrants here. Now, if she came on, I would ask her what number did she think. She said this misinformation is unfounded. No such request has been made to the township. We're working on identifying the source of this misinformation, and I'll give a more formal statement. Well, the information, since we didn't get a denial, is you signed off on this open letter with 500 bipartisan state and local officials that says that, yes, they think these policies are good. They would welcome them in their community. No number was given. That's just because we were talking about these other places and how many they got. So it seems her position is that she's supportive of the concept, at least. I'd like to know what the number is then. But Jim Lee, I'm very glad when people come on and, we differ, we're going to have a reasonable, we did before with him. We'll find out why he thinks people in Springfield Township would be on board with that. How many communities, after what we've seen here, would be on board with this? And if they are, what's the number? See, that's the problem that happened to these communities. They were inundated. Now, President Trump said last night on Gutfeld he is going to be heading to Springfield, Ohio, and he's going to be heading to Aurora, Colorado. All right, let me give you the side question quickly because we have Riley Gaines in the on-deck circle. She'll be coming up a lot with Riley. Because of the labor union stuff with the Teamsters, we were talking after the show, Henry and I, about the world of work, about a job. And what we came up with today, you give me any job. You determine the job you want, the position, the profession, call it what you will. And you give me somebody real or fictional that you think is the face of it, means represents that. All right, so mine is going to be preacher. I immediately think of the best orator, preacher. I don't see how it could be topped. Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah.
I mean, Martin Luther King Jr. at the March on Washington. My God, Well, even more, the night before he was assassinated, the stuff that he did. It's you can't believe a human being can be that good. What's yours, Henry?
So I went the fictional route.
Okay.
I chose a profession off the books,
Okay.
known as an assassin.
All right.
And I chose John Wick
There you
because
go.
he is the boogeyman. You cannot
Okay.
stop him.
All right. All right, that's what we're looking for. The great Riley Gaines next. She's got a docuseries coming up. Wanted to talk with her, too, about Kamala Harris and the transgender remarks. Here's how you get in. 855-839-1210. That's what you do. Jump on board with Dom here on Talk Radio 1210.
Hi, this is Carson Daly, inviting you to be part of Odyssey's mental health initiative, I'm Listening. As a dedicated mental health advocate, it is my great honor to again be hosting this awesome 2-hour special, along with Dr. Alfie and Katie Neal, as we engage in this very meaningful conversation. Connect with us right here for I'm Listening.
Next Wednesday, September 25th at 7 p.m. here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I have a serious heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or HCM. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. I still had symptoms on my beta blocker, so I asked my cardiologist about any treatment advances. It was a breakthrough for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com for more information.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Just 2 years ago, Bob Casey told us his vote for a $1 trillion spending spree would miraculously reduce inflation. Casey promised his vote
will reduce inflation.
Have you been to a grocery store lately? Did Casey reduce anything except his credibility? In fact, it was Bob Casey's vote for reckless spending that caused this inflation in the first place. Prices went up, and now you're paying more for almost everything. Casey admits he failed. Prices have skyrocketed. Just listen to Casey.
You have boneless chicken going up 38%, and paper products like toilet paper going up 35%.
Groceries cost more. Rent and housing cost more. Pennsylvania families are struggling. Casey promised to fix this mess. Instead, he made it worse. Bob Casey failed. We need a change to get back on track. It's time to change Washington. It's time to fire Bob Casey. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
Hi, this is Joe Mederchik, PNC Bank Regional President. Sticking to the fundamentals and not wavering from the game plan is a great philosophy for football and banking. And for nearly 160 years, our dedicated local PNC teams are in formation to help fans receive sound and reliable personalized financial advice to get them across the goal line. Because, as we see it, a win for them is a win for the greater Philadelphia community. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Guess what, people? Wendy's has new saucy nugs. You heard me. Wendy's nugs now come in 7 saucy flavors. Buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, spicy ghost pepper. You can literally hear your taste buds after every bite. I'm serious. Listen to mine. Okay, that's just me playing with sound effects. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location.
Dom Giordano, weekdays, noon till 3 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And on the free Odyssey app.
All right, it is Dom time. Riley Gaines has made such an impact, just a tremendous impact. Now she has a new docuseries out around the very same issues that we've been talking about. But, of course, this is the one area where VP Harris has not flip-flop. It's a transgender space. I hope she's asked a little bit more specifically about women in sports in addition to that. All right, let's go to Riley Gaines. Riley, congratulations. It's been a while. Thanks for joining us.
Well, I'm always thrilled to join you, so thank you for having me on.
Tell us about the docuseries. Where do we get it, and what are you doing?
Yes, goodness gracious. It's crazy to, even you think about the past 2 years of my life, and now I get to add best-selling author to my resume, and now executive producer of the docuseries Transfixed. It is a 4-part docuseries, so there are 4 episodes. You can find it on Fox Nation. You can check that out at foxnation.com. But really what this is, it's, when I was kind of thrust into this realm of understanding the gender ideology movement, understanding the political sphere. Of course, I initially saw this as a threat to women's sports, but now I realize it is so much bigger. It is so much broader than that. The victims in this story are the children who have had their bodies mutilated. And so this docuseries, we spend a little time talking about the sports stuff, but we get into children who have transitioned and then detransitioned and really what they describe themselves as medical experiments. We talk to families who have lost their children. One family in particular who hasn't seen their child in years because CPS got involved, took their child, the government took their child. They don't even know if their child is still alive.
Wow. And Riley, to that point, particularly Governor Walz, I'm not sure if you explored in this because it's just recent that he's been put into that slot. His state and what he's doing was doing exactly that. If the parent balks at this, they're in danger of losing the child.
Of course. And I think that's the most terrifying part about all of this and something a lot of people don't realize. We even heard, goodness gracious, this week, in the past few days, we saw Kamala Harris in an interview. Speaking on a stage. She doesn't really do interviews, if you haven't noticed. We saw her speaking on a stage
Yeah.
And she said, when I was growing up, children were for the community, and that's how it should be. Children should be for the community. And the quote itself was nonsensical, something very, circular.
Well, hold up on that. We just happen to have that, Jim. This is cut 9 to Riley's point. Here is VP Harris when she grew up about the children of the community.
I grew up understanding the children of the community are the children of the community.
Which, that's the initial reaction, right? To laugh, because it is so, that's just what she does. It's almost like she's a high school student trying to reach her word count in an essay she has to write for an English class.
The book report, right, yeah.
Exactly. But really, if you think about what she's saying, if you can get past how absurd the verbiage and the words she uses are, if you can think about what she's saying, and she's telling you openly, confidently to your face, is that your kids don't belong to you. Your kids should belong to the government. That should be a really terrifying statement, regardless of any political affiliation, regardless of any identity factor. That should be a terrifying statement for your average, everyday American voter to hear.
Absolutely. So, Riley, we were thinking about you, too. Since it's been a while. The PIAA in Pennsylvania just announced that the Philadelphia Eagles and Steelers were both behind this, that flag football will now be a official female sport in Pennsylvania. And I made mention of the fact it's acknowledging that few, if any, females want to play tackle football, and that this is an outlet of football for them. And it led, of course, to the stuff that you're famous for. This is what women's sports are all about. Now it's going to be an official state sport. Over 100 schools already have females in this. The question will be, though, will they put some male in there who'll run amok and just run over top of people or straight arm them so they can't take the flag away?
I think, the creation of flag football, creating women's teams, I think that's a great alternative. And you said it, if we talk a lot about men and women's sports, but the problem exists of women and men's sports. Again, the same issues, safety and fairness. You have a woman on the football field. Any boy, any man who's raised right doesn't want to tackle a woman at full speed. And so I think it's a great alternative for women to be able to compete and be able to play. But, again, if you allow men, it undermines everything that the sport, that the league, that it was created to uphold and protect. I imagine those issues will exist given your state and given the leaders of your state.
Well, right, and it was thrilling to see this. The Philadelphia Eagles are providing a lot of money, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they push this PIAA, which is a really backward organization, to do it pretty quickly, and instantly 100 schools are involved. This is what you and I share in this, because I have sisters that were college athletes, and you're one of the all-time. This is the avenue that we've always wanted, all the things that come out of women participating, as you did, at the highest levels. Why in the world ruin that? So I hope that VP Harris, the more serious thing your docuseries is about, of course, but I hope she's asked about this stuff with women in sports, because I know that a lot of people that love competition in sports, they are outraged over this still to this time. Have we seen other women speaking up, though, over the last few months? Are there any examples in this arena?
Definitely. Unfortunately, as these pretty tragic scenarios continue to happen really at an exponential rate, especially with school going back. Goodness gracious, with colleges going back after what the Biden-Harris administration has done to Title IX, rewrote it, abolished Title IX, actually, as it was originally implemented. Boys are now allowed to compete on women's collegiate teams. And so I talk to athletes, Dom, every single day. I talk to athletes who, for example, the San Jose State University volleyball team, where they have a male playing, injuring women, giving women concussions. Career-ending injuries. But guess what their record is? It's 6-0. They haven't lost. It's the first time they've gone 6-0, I believe, in school history. You can do your own deductive reasoning,
sure.
but they have a male on their team now.
I happen to be flipping through ESPN the last couple of days, and both nights, in prime time, they were featuring women's volleyball, and a couple of these women were unbelievable. A couple of the spikes were unbelievable. But I'm picturing a 6'1", 6'2" male doing what these women did with the added power. And people don't realize how injured you could be just from volleyball.
No, take Peyton McNabb, for example.
Right.
She was a high school senior at the time, and this was almost 2 years ago now. But, I mean, you described a scenario almost exactly where a boy jumps up, he spikes the ball, it hits her in the face, she's immediately knocked unconscious, where she laid for many minutes before finally coming back around. And even still to this day, Dom, actually over 2 years ago, she's partially paralyzed on her right side. Her vision is impaired. Her memory is impaired. She has to have special accommodations for testing at school because she can't retain information like she once could. She was supposed to play softball in college. This injury, it ruined that, and it has permanent effects on her life now.
Well, Riley, it is amazing. You are opening new avenues all the way. We lost a great dentist, or maybe that's down the road. I have Dr. Benz here. But Riley Gaines, if you were in the area, we'd have to check that out. So people should go to Fox Nation right now, and I guess that's that. You know, they can watch it at their leisure. Your docuseries around all these issues. What's upcoming for you? Anything in the immediate future in addition to that?
Goodness, I'm taking it day by day. Really, just a big push of mine over these next few months is getting back on college campuses. Really trying to engage the youth, right? Mobilize the youth. It's what, I mean, Charlie Kirk, he was just in your area with Vivek. It's what they do so well. And so to be a part of that movement is really important to me. You know, I see as a young woman, this is not historically a base, a demographic that votes Republican. And so really trying to open the eyes of younger people. I'll be coming to Pennsylvania, all over the nation, really. I think in the next 45 or so days on about 20 different college campuses. So,
wait a minute. We got to get you to Philadelphia. I'll tell Dan we got to get you here in studio. We'll shuttle you over. What do we have to do?
Come on, I'm there. Easy peasy.
All right. Do you know, you don't know the schedule yet, though, when you'll be here in Pennsylvania, in the Philadelphia area?
I'll find out, and I'll send you over a schedule. I'll text you.
That would be great. Riley, thank you so much. As always, what's the website for all things Riley Gaines?
You can check out RileyGainesCenter.org, and that has a more comprehensive list of the college campuses I'll be at and such. And then, of course, follow along on X. That is Riley_Gaines_.
Thank you, Riley. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Dom. Thank you.
All right, Riley Gaines. Oh, my God. I'm just blessed that Dan established a relationship there. She'll be coming to our area, so we'll work that up and let you know. I got to go and cover it on a college campus. Oh, man. That will
That'd
be
be something.
Well, producers are supposed to provide the no-neck part of it. I hear Greg is working on a no-neck producer just for things like this. He's going to be on the...
Got something in the lab cooking.
He's going to be on the practice squad of producing. Yes. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. Hit us on the side question. You heard Henry's. You heard mine. With all this labor talk yesterday, when you think of a particular career, a particular job, real or fictional, all time, who's the person that jumps out at you? Yeah, I know I could have said Jesus, but, you know, we don't do the Bible. That's unfair when it comes to preacher. Yes. You can't top it with that. Don't send me on Twitter. I took Martin Luther King Jr. All right, 855-839-1210. Get in on Talk Radio 1210.
Weather sponsored by Robert Half.
Warm and pleasant conditions are in the forecast as we head into the weekend. A mixture of sunshine and clouds today. It will be less humid with a high 84. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 66 for the city, cooler in the suburbs. And for Friday, partly sunny and pleasant with a high 81.
9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Our recruiting professionals utilize an award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's also what a lot of us lack in our basement or garage. By switching to a Navien tankless water heater, not only will you have all the hot water you need whenever you need it, but you'll gain storage area as well. Maybe a place to display your space collectibles.
Highly logical.
Learn about Navien's series of high-efficiency tankless water heaters and how they don't just save space, but save dollars on your utility bills too. For more, go to tanklessmadesimple.com.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie,
When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
Hey, it's Nick. Recently, I visited my friends at Piazza Mazda in Westchester to check out the 2024 Mazda CX-30. The dynamic CX-30 offers 8 different trim levels, creating a perfect fit for every lifestyle. When it comes to performance, iActive all-wheel drive is standard, and the available turbocharged engines pack a surprising punch. Safety features such as blind spot monitoring and lane assist led the 2024 CX-30, earning a 5-star overall safety rating. Visit Piazza Mazda in Westchester, Reading, or online, piazzamazda.com.
Seems everyone has an opinion on where the stock market is going, but where should you be going? Find out with Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sundays at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Jack Daniels and Coca-Cola tailgating and watching the birds. It doesn't get any better. So stop by your local PA Fine Wine and Good Spirits store and save $1 on cases of Jack and Coke and Jack and Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, along with Jack Honey and Lemonade, Jack and Ginger Ale, and Jack and Tennessee Apple Fizz. All ready to drink in a can. Jack and Coke, born for the tailgate. Please drink responsibly. Whiskey Specialty, 7% ABV. Jack Daniels Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniels Little Number 7, a registered trademarks of Jack Daniels Properties, Inc. Coca-Cola is a trademark of the Coca-Cola Company.
As the leaves change, so can your ride. With the all-new 2025 Infiniti QX80, now available at Infiniti of Westchester. This month, elevate your drive with unmatched luxury, bold design, and performance that's built to conquer any season. The 2025 Infiniti QX80 is here, where style meets power and comfort knows no bounds. So visit us in-store or check us out online at infinityofwestchester.com and step into the future of driving today. Philly rides with us.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, it is Dom time. Welcome in. You got the side question. All this talk of work with yesterday, hoping the Teamsters would fully endorse President Trump. That didn't happen, but the non-endorsement is very good. It indicates the real problems that Harris is having with white males, particularly white working class, and other groups that are in labor unions or related construction, that kind of field. And those happen to land in the 3 big states, the Blue Wall, Wisconsin, Michigan, and, of course, Pennsylvania. But here is the head of the UAW. Now, the UAW has the automobile workers, right? But they have, like, college professors and fields like that are also part of their union. So they are much more radicalized. Here's the UAW president. He was on MSNBC immediately when this whole thing came down. This is cut 7.
You know, this is the first time the Teamsters have not endorsed a presidential candidate since 1996. Do you see this as a blow to Vice President Harris?
Not really. Look, it's not a Trump endorsement. And, look, we've done polling and working class people, union or not, and especially in our union, and I know the other unions mirror the same numbers, going back to 2008 and forward. I mean, it's literally been an average of 65% vote Democrat, 30 to 32% vote Republican. That's pretty consistent all across the board. And even though, I'm not going to get into their leadership and their decision making, but I mean, it was pretty apparent today when the Michigan Teamsters Joint Council 43, 245,000 retired and active members endorsed Kamala Harris. The Joint Council 42 that includes Nevada, 300,000 members endorsed Kamala Harris and Walz, and Local 237 in New York, which is their biggest local, also endorsed Harris Walz team. So, I don't read into that too much. I mean, I believe their union, just like our union and most other unions I know of in this country, are going to vote heavily for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
We'll see about that. Okay, well, thanks, Jim, on that. That's enough. I wanted to go to former Minnesota Governor Tim Pawlenty, who ran for president and was a very reasonable, moderately conservative Republican. I think he hit it very well in the interview that he did here, because he said the rank and file, these guys, they're sick and tired. These guys that work hard and right across the street from us. We're seeing them put up a building, can be injured, can die in these things. And they're told, let's face it, the Democrat Party, they have white privilege. They're tired of this stuff. That's exactly right. They're not voting for Harris. I don't care what the UAW guy says. All right, here's Governor Tim Pawlenty.
And culture, and it's exactly what the Democratic Party needs to focus on.
Governor Pawlenty, when you look at this, and Teamsters Union, I mean, that Biden was winning over Trump, and now it's Harris. Trump is winning over Harris, 60 to 34%. I mean, Governor, is this about race and gender? What is this about when you look at a swing that huge?
Well, my dad, as a truck driver, was a Teamster. I've been a former union member myself. And for a lot of years now, you can see the separation between these unions as organizations and the rank and file people who are the members of those unions. And Trump, for all of his other challenges, has been successful in some political jujitsu in attracting labor, the rank and file laborers, to his campaign. And in exchange, the Democrats have picked up folks who are more highly educated, more woke or whatever. But if you talk to the rank and file people who are driving around in vans and trucks with ladders and doing the work of hard labor in this country, and you talk to them individually, they are very skeptical of a leftward lurch in the country. One of them told me not too long ago, after being working on his hands and knees his whole life with arthritic hands, he said, I was in the military, I worked my can off my whole life, and I'm not voting Democrat this time as a Democrat this time because they think I'm privileged just because of the color of my skin. That's one little glimpse into how the Democrats lost rank and file labor.
I would disagree with that.
Yeah, you can disagree all that you want. Just take a look at your platform. Just take a look, lady. Come on here, and we'll put you in studio for a half hour. You can disagree all that you want. That's exactly what they've been saying. That's exactly what they think. Now, they dress it up in all sorts of terminology, just like now, DEI is going undercover. It has different initials now, equity and all other kinds of words that might be used. Critical race theory, we don't know about anything like that, but America's a racist country. That's at the core of it. They know it. Now, here's the thing that's going to be hard for Republicans. And I started thinking about this last night. Who is it after Trump that can tap into this? In other words, this has been here forever. But a guy like Mitt Romney, he's not going to tap into it. He's a guy in a top hat. Let's face it. Somebody like Mitch McConnell, people like this, they're not going to tap into it. They can't do it. Trump's life story, Trump's style has tapped into that, and it's tapped into, in large measure, African-American males. And they don't like it now. They don't like this even a little bit. But what they're betting is, if they can hold Trump off this time, this all goes away. You know what I mean? How can Republicans find someone? It's not just enunciating these things. It's the style. It's the life story. I don't think Ron DeSantis, and I see Ron DeSantis as the ultimate drill down and go after what needs to be done. He has as buttoned up as anybody I've ever seen. But as we saw during the presidential campaign, it just doesn't get people fired up to move the people we have to move to the Republican side. And I don't like his 6-week ban on abortion thing. I think that's killed his career. So who is it? That's a great unknown. But with Trump now, all these things that are true that these guys had to know in their gut, Biden held it off. And look, how did Biden hold it off? Well, Biden still didn't come across as woke. Maybe in their minds, he came across as a guy, look, he has to make this deal. He really doesn't believe in it. What's he going to do? Which is even worse in some ways. And he was the ultimate union guy, identified, Scranton Joe and all that. So they were able to hold some of this off. Now they don't have Biden. They have someone who is an empty vessel of wokeness. That cut we just played you with Riley Gaines. Jim, let's play that again. Here's Kamala Harris talking about the children of the community are the children of the community.
I grew up understanding the children of the community are the children of the community.
Oh, my God.
I also understood that growing up.
Thank you very much. Yeah, in kindergarten, I think the children of the community are the children of the community. That's your word count for today. Go home. You get an A. Was she constantly writing book reports that she knew nothing about? Is that where this tick comes from here? All right, so 855-839-1210, you get on board. This is a big moment. I know some of you don't like, want to hear endorsements, you don't believe. Okay, keep it up. But the fact that this major brand released this poll indicating what the rank and file were about. We always suspected this. We kind of knew it, but we at least have a pretty big poll here to say, wow, look at this. And Tim Pawlenty hit the nail on the head. These people are being tired. They're patriotic Americans, too. They're tired of the deal was this. Look, be a Democrat. We're going to give you more than the Republicans. You're going to have to put up with all of our woke nonsense, but we'll give you more. And by and large, up to a point, and if you put a figure on there like Joe Biden, these guys can say, Biden, he's union. You're not getting away with that with Kamala Harris. I don't think goofball Tim Walz can get away with it. They know what these people are about. They know these people hate the values of the working class Democrats because those values are very similar or almost identical to Republicans, except when it comes to some of the union stuff back and forth. That's the only difference. Like, for example, at 1:30, Bob Brady. I don't think Bob Brady's woke. Look at who Bob Brady pushed across the finish line in the mayor's race. Was he there saying that Helen Gim is a hell of a candidate? No. He was doing anything in the world to stop that. So he's still a Democrat. But you get what I mean. He'll be here at 1:30. I want to ask him about this. And also, Sherelle Parker, the mayor, as I've been predicting, and the whole establishment, you know what this says. It says to Chinatown and the Chinese, hey, face it, you don't have any power here. We're not going to see you as a minority status. You're white adjacent. You're not getting away with that. And if we mess up Chinatown a bit, so what? Yeah, but aren't you the guys that always say these cultural communities and we have to have all that? No. We got a lot of money here with these Sixers billionaires. We got a lot of union jobs. We're going to do it. That's what it comes down to. In the end, they're going to do it. You will not see this often. The Philadelphia Inquirer, and I agree on something. The studies indicate that you're going to have people trying to get to Jefferson in emergencies, and there'll be gridlock there. You're not going to see SEPTA. Anybody listening right now, you're going to bring your kids, hey, let's go see a Sixers game, Johnny. We're going to take SEPTA, and then we're going to take SEPTA home after 10 o'clock at night from the city of Philadelphia. Oh, yes. We're going to ride our magic carpet. So how did they get it done? Well, you got the black ministers, you have the head of the building trades, and these politicians. They danced around telling Chinatown, oh, we're listening to all this stuff. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. You knew in the end exactly what they were going to do. So how do we have a party that talks about billionaires like Trump and all the rest of it, and they're giving the Sixers this showplace? Bob Brady down at Mulligan's told me they had a deal. They were going to refurbish down where all the stadiums were put to millions of dollars to make them even better. Nah, we don't want that. We want our own thing. We don't care about all the stuff that's going to go on around this. And I think it's still not for 7, 8, or 9 more years on top of it. So who is it that got the benefit of this? And it's the billionaires, ultimately. That's why they're billionaires. That's why they're doing it. The guy that flew Meek Mill in his helicopter when he got out of jail, that guy, and some others. All right, 855-839-1210. That's why I like the Phillies. I think the Phillies are an unbelievable organization. I told you about John Middleton. This Josh Harris guy, he owns the hockey team. It's just an investment.
Well, let's get something straight. Josh Harris is only the Sixers.
Doesn't he own a hockey team?
Dan Hilferty owns the Flyers, and I like what he's done since he's taken control of the team.
No,
he's
the Devils. The Devils.
Oh, he owns the Devils. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, he does. He owns the Devils and the Commanders.
Yeah. My point is that it's an investment. This guy has no sense that these are a public property that there's emotion and everything else tied into it.
Yeah. Oh,
he doesn't have
100%.
any sense of that.
No, but Dan Hilford, he does, which I appreciate. He's the one who wants to bring everything to South Philly, build that whole complex.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Bob Brady does too. And he'll be on at 1:30. I think he'll point that out. At least at Mulligan's. I don't know. Maybe it was Johnny's Brew. I'm not sure. 855-839-1210. You can get in right now. Coming up, I'll show you my award from last night. Everybody's been admiring it. They go, I've never seen an award like this. How do you get to YouTube? Dan does that for me all the time. You go to youtube.com/1210WPHT.
Yes.
Yes.
So you've heard it. You've heard it enough to know.
Yeah, it's in there. 1210 WPHT. Wake up to it. Go to YouTube. I'll show you. Rich and I both got it last night. We were both. This is an unusual thing for the ZOA, Zionist of America. We were both MCs. I was part one, then handed it off to the award ceremony, and then Rich handed him off to himself to be the MC after he got the award. You should have seen the sheets of paper we had. Rich will now be the MC. Dom will sit down with his award. But the award is spectacular looking. Not really a journalist, but that doesn't, in the broadest sense of it.
Who's a journalist anymore?
Well, you know what? I guess we could be journalists.
Yeah.
I think Dawn is the most journalistic probably here on the station. Rich and I, Nick, I don't see that. We both begged indulgence for mispronunciation of Jewish names. One, I had the guy that brought me there, Steve Feldman, who'll be on tomorrow, and he goes, well, I don't know, because that's a different sect. So you just figure out what you're going to do with the guy. So he's a deputy consul general of the United States for Israel. And I said his name. Thank you.
Pulled a Biden.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You couldn't make it out what I said. Rose said, what did you say? And I said, nothing. That way I was safe. All right. It's 855-839-1210. Grab a line right now. Hey, let me tell you about Dr. Bent's. And with Dr. Bent's, I've told you over the years, we're into now fall weather, sadly, is almost upon us. So we're putting aside all the goodies of summer, and that means it's a perfect time, though, for a fresh start with a great dentist. Maybe appointments you've been putting, I'm not going to do that. Why not get a look-see with my dentist for years, my friend, and the staff with Dr. Bent's? You will see the Bent's difference. If you're a little bit fearful, you have a little bit of problem with the dentist, I've told you stories. I saw recently this woman who barely spoke English, broken English in Norristown there, with a couple people with her who were kind of translating how gentle Dr. Bent's was to get her the dental care that she needed. And it was a lot to make it not overwhelming. He's a master at that. And like all great dentists, when he works on your mouth, you can tell the difference. I mean, it is so efficient and precise, little or no pain or anything like that. And when it comes to your teeth, the final product, that 3D printer is worth whatever it cost him. So it's a great time to get it done now. If you need some complex work, other dentists constantly send patients to Dr. Bent's. He's the guy. He likes that challenge. Make the appointment. Get the look-see. That's what you should be doing now. 610-272-6949. Dr. Robert Bent's, my dentist, 610-272-6949.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
I don't know if you guys agree with this, but if I'm Trump, I'm no longer taking phone calls from Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. My iPhone rings. You see the little accept or decline button? Decline. I did the photo op with you on 9/11 after the stage debate on ABC. Kamala will be right back on the wagon today, I'm sure, and you're going to hear the same old rhetoric. Not about her opportunity economy and the specifics of what that entails, but just the general entry-level stupid verbiage.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me. 40 days up to 40 pounds. Shed that summer vacation weight by reaching out to NJ Diet. You will lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days and without any shots. NJ Diet is all natural. They use your hair, saliva, and blood work, along with bioenergetic scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements that get your body into the fat-burning zone so you can finally lose that weight. Then, NJ Diet uses DNA info to help you keep it off. Best of all, it's contractually guaranteed. You're fully supervised the entire time to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. You even get the doctor's personal email and phone number, locations in Newark, Delaware, King of Prussia, and Cherry Hill, or available worldwide with live online video consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or schedule your consultation today by going to njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
At Tri-County Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, get wholesale club pricing for everyone. Choose from the 2024 Jeep Wrangler 4xE or choose the 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xE and you can save up to $15,500 off MSRP. Tri-County CDJR is easy to find off the Limerick exit of 422. Go to TriCountyCDJR.com to see our great inventory. And don't forget, when you buy from Tri-County, you get Tri-County for life.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Let me tell you about my buddy, Dr. Mike Veneria, the dental implant master. Implant dentistry is an art form, and as one of South Jersey's top implant dentists, Dr. Mike gives you the self-confidence boost you deserve. Schedule your free implant consultation today. Dr. Veneria's office exceeds CDC guidelines and has always maintained the strictest infection control with centralized UV sterilization of airflow to ensure your safety. Locations right over the bridge in Cinnaminson and Woodbury, 856-786-2020 or veneriadental.com.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-727-9105. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105.
Free speech lives here with Don Stensland, 10 till noon on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
All right, so on YouTube now, check it out. I'm holding up my awards. This is the Heck Award for Journalism. Notice the beautiful typewriter, even though I don't type. Notice the chauffeur, and inscribed to me, and Rich got the same thing. So thank you, Zionist of America, Steve Feldman. Very, very creative award. You'll be seeing it in the backdrop of the Dome when I broadcast from there. It's an all-timer, Henry. It's beautifully done.
It's very neat. And, I love how it's engraved. I mean, it's unique, too. I mean, I don't want to rip on any other awards I've gotten, but they're very bland. They're very trophy-esque. That's something I want to show people. Like, it's a conversation piece. Hey,
it is a conversation piece.
What's that?
I would agree with you. Absolutely. Now, a big, gaudy Super Bowl-like ring might be good, too.
That's also,
Yeah, exactly.
That would have been nice.
That would have been nice. But thank you, Zionists of America. It is a conversation piece. It's beautifully done. It was a great night. A lot of people there that are our listeners over the year. A shout-out. A guy came up to me. He was there with Judith Krupnick, who got a big award last night at Cherry Hill Volvo. And he talked about the fact that Roland Green, as a student, Henry, we guesstimated 40 years ago. And he works with the guy. And when he heard that he was going to be there tonight, I was going to be there, he started talking about English class 40 years ago. It was really
incredible.
It really was heartwarming. Yeah, it was exactly what any teacher would want to hear. So it was a tremendous night all the way around. And one of the people that gave a keynote was a student at Penn that talked about just how outrageous it's been. People counting down to October 7th, of course. And I'm thinking at that point, it's going to be very interesting to see how Kamala Harris remembers October 7th. Is she going to give us one of those? Well, she said the solution is a two-state solution. All that would do is give the very same people who did what they did coming out of Gaza, bigger territory to do it. And I'm not saying it's every citizen of Gaza. It's substantial numbers. The others live in fear of Hamas. So what are we supposed to do? Israel deserves an award. I know it's hard to say that. The left can't say that for what they've done, the brilliance of wiring both the walkie-talkies and the pagers. You shouldn't have had them. Now, of course, these people are around other people. They may be blown up too. I don't think the charge, though, as I understand it, extends much beyond a short range of the person with it. And it's got to be awful if you're crippled by this. But you know what? Don't be a terrorist. Don't be trying to kill every Jew in the world. Maybe you won't get blown up by your pager. Does that make sense? That's exactly the way that I see it. Okay, coming up, we're going to talk with Tim Murtaugh. He is the point person for the Trump campaign, particularly here in Pennsylvania. And I want to ask him about what I think is one of the most vulnerable areas for Kamala Harris, who, by the way, I will give her one skill. Yesterday, she exhibited a pretty decent, what she thinks is an Hispanic accent in the middle of laughing and saying something. The woman can turn on a dime with accents. We've seen everyone in the world, particularly she likes the Southern accent when speaking in front of Democrat groups. All right, so Tim Murtaugh next, but Bob Brady, big-time union power, head of the Democrats in Philadelphia, will be here at 1:30. We'll ask him about Chinatown. And I know he's, upset. He was a Joe Biden guy. What does he make of the Teamsters, the vote, first of all, and then withholding any endorsement whatsoever? I have to say, only Trump out of the Republican Party can do that. J.D. Vance is not getting them to non-endorse. Vivek Ramaswamy is not. Chris Christie. There's only one guy that has that type of skill or lifestyle that's appealing and bringing these people to the Republican Party. Now we got to cash them in and keep them here. All right, let me tell you about Batteries Plus Bulbs. My buddy Roy over in South Jersey, two big stores, Mount Laurel and Northfield on Tilton Road. Now, Roy has been with us for quite a while. You know about anything that you need in any way, shape, or form related to technology, Batteries Plus Bulbs, they have you covered. But more importantly, the motto is they power it, they light it, and they fix it. That's what he says every time to me. Make sure people know, your listeners, Don, we will fix it. Meaning phones, anything with technology, if you're in business, energy audits, helping you cut costs. It's all there. I'll give you the phone number in a moment. But in addition to that, business has gotten so good because we have a lot of people that have been going to Roy. They need some help. A handy do-it-yourselfer would be ideal. It's a great low-pressure, part-time job. Customer service is the key. If you're willing to do what it takes to help, you need to call Roy. So for all things Roy, for whatever your needs are, or if you're interested in joining them, 856-638-0778. 856-638-0778.
This school year, make the most of it for your child or grandchild and make the call to Kathy Ganna and New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown at 800-300-0003. Give your student all the tools they need for a great school year. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them now. For over 3 decades, New Hope Academy founder Kathy Ganna, a pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed. At New Hope Academy, there's a student-teacher ratio of 2-to-1, allowing students to deal with many disorders, including high anxiety, social and emotional, and including bipolar. Do not wait. Help your students start strong. Remember, only the best teachers can work at NHA. Call for a no-obligation tour and consultation. 90% of NHA graduates pursue a college education. Call Kathy today at 800-300-0003. Online, newhopeacademy.net. Call New Hope Academy today.
The following is a paid commercial message. I'm Kamala Harris. Here's a few things I believe. Middle-class families, like the one I grew up in, they want common sense solutions. You want lower prices and lower taxes. I believe you want to just not get by, but you want to get ahead. We must create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to get a car loan, buy a home, start a business. And I believe we can make that happen.
Kamala Harris's plan? Bring down costs by cracking down on corporate price gougers. Make homeownership more affordable for families. A middle-class tax cut for 100 million Americans. And make sure billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share so you can keep more of the money you've earned.
And instead of being focused on the politics of the past, we need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
New Jeeps from $269 a month at turnersbilljeep.com. Drive a new Wrangler, Grand Cherokee, Compass, or Ram truck from $269 a month at turnersbilljeep.com.
2024 Compass, 4-cylinder auto, $269 a month, 7,500 miles, closed and leased, 39 months with $22.69 due at inception. Total payments $12,491. MSRP $35,340. VIN number RT175028. Residual $19,083. Tax and tax extra. Not valid with trade-in. $599 fee. Ends 9/7/24.
Paid for by RFA cancellation. Are you feeling trapped by a timeshare you no longer want? You're not alone. Thousands of people are stuck paying for timeshares they hardly use. But here's the good news. There's a way out, and we're here to help. We specialize in legally canceling timeshares. With years of experience and a dedicated team, we've successfully helped countless clients just like you break free from those burdensome contracts. No more annual fees, no more maintenance costs, just freedom from your unwanted timeshare. Imagine what you could do with all that extra money and peace of mind, whether it's traveling to places you really want to go, saving for a new home, or just enjoying life without that financial burden hanging over your head. We make it possible, and it's easier than you think. Call us today at 800-866-7061. That's 800-866-7061. Our friendly experts will guide you through the process step by step, ensuring a smooth and stress-free experience. So call us now at 800-866-7061. That's 800-866-7061 and take the first step toward freedom. Again, 800-866-7061. 800-866-7061.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. My excursion into the spin room, I saw a master of it. Tim Murtaugh was there. I was too busy duking it out with Scaramucci at that point to go over. Tim Murtaugh is a former Delco resident. He is the Trump campaign senior advisor. He joins us here on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Tim, welcome in. I like what you were doing. I was overhearing it in the spin room, but as I said, Anthony Scaramucci and I were getting into it pretty heavy around his anti-Trump stuff. So, Yeah. Tim, this is talk about how the campaign now has to tease this out through the media lens. An endorsement of Trump by the Teamsters would have been otherworldly, but this moment of them making a decision revealed a poll, one of the first times we've seen this, their own poll, indicating, 2-1 at least, support for Trump on the issues versus Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I mean, it really was a great day for the Trump campaign yesterday, and I think a really pretty jarringly bad one for Kamala Harris's campaign. When you think about it, the Teamsters, really just a large and powerful union with a lot of influence, and they have always been just an auto-endorse organization for whichever Democrat is running for president. Well, I guess they probably found the Democrat that they finally can't support in Kamala Harris because her policies are so bad. Her policies are not good at all for working people, not good at all for the economy or inflation or everything that people are caring about these days. And Donald Trump's policies and his record are fantastic for working people. And you saw the numbers. It was 2-1. It was about 60% to in the 30s for Trump over Harris among the rank and file, among the members of the Teamsters Union. And so a non-endorsement is a huge victory for the Trump campaign and a huge blow to Kamala Harris. And it's all based on the issues. Number one on voters' minds, whether you're in a union or not, is the economy, inflation, everything that goes with it, making America stronger on the world stage, more competitive against our financial adversaries and manufacturing and everything else. Donald Trump wins it on every category. Union members know it. People who have to put food on their families' tables or gas in their car, they all know it. That's where Trump is going to win this election on economic issues. The actions of the Teamsters yesterday just underlines that, if you ask me.
I think it's I don't know if we exactly differ. I see it even as bigger. I think our message has always been there. And you're right. It is so horrific now with Harris and the economy. But I think Trump's life story, style, building trades, background, mixing up and that's what carries this home that they all. And I have to give O'Brien credit. I mean, I don't see politically how they could have ever endorsed. As big as they are and as powerful, you're asking to do something in this climate that would be impossible. He did a great job of signaling here, in my view.
Yeah, he really did. And look at how much Donald Trump has just moved the ball.
Yes.
Right? When would anyone ever dream that a Republican candidate for president could possibly get the fight to a standstill with the Teamsters, and that they would actually, as an organization, sit out the race, but at the same time release the results of their internal polling of their membership, showing, I mean, they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to broadcast to the world, hey, our membership is actually 2-1 in favor of Trump. They didn't have to tell everybody that, but they did. So they're sending a message without the overall organization endorsing one or the other, sitting it out officially, but then releasing the numbers that say, look, our people support Trump. I mean, it's a massive victory. Massive.
It is. Now, the issue that, because there's so many, the border, inflation, I get it. But it intrigues me. I wanted to pick your brain. What does it tell us about the Harris campaign that they're scared to death to flip-flop on the issue, even for illegal migrants, of gender surgery, transgender stuff, the others, which are impossible to believe, but they are incredibly the biggest issues. This is the issue where they're not moving as far as I've heard.
Yeah, what this does is just reveal that all of these brand new policy positions that she claims to have now, all of it is a crock. All of it is a crock. She is a San Francisco liberal who is pretending not to be one. And here's proof. One of the issues where she can't bring herself to change her mind is the idea of taxpayer-funded sex change operations for illegal aliens who are currently being detained. And as outrageous as that sounds, Time Magazine, Dom, this is incredible. Time Magazine ran a fact check on that when Donald Trump said it in the debate in Philadelphia last week when he said she supports these things. The Time Magazine rated it false. You know why? Because they just thought it sounded so outrageous.
Right.
It couldn't possibly be true. And so they didn't even check. They just said, yeah, it's false, because it sounds nuts, right? Turns out it's true. She filled out a questionnaire and said those very things in writing, Dom. She supports it, and they refuse to say that she no longer does, which of course means that she does, just like she still opposes fracking. She still thinks people should be able to cross our southern border with impunity. She still thinks that illegals should have driver's license and free health care. She thinks that the health care that you get from your employer should be outlawed and everyone should be forced into a government plan. All of these things she still believes. She just is trying to trick people on certain ones. There are other ones where they're not going to bother to try to flip it because they're afraid of the radical left, because she is one of them. That's the key. She is one of them. She still is.
I'm not sure if you were in the campaign in 2016. I don't remember, but I don't remember at that point. Yeah, the focus on illegal immigration was the wall with Trump primarily, and calling it out to start when he came down the escalator. Right. I don't even remember in 2020 that the focus was deportation, but it indicates where we are. Poll after poll now indicates that's exactly what people want. And last night on Gutfeld, of all places, President Trump took the right tack. Well, how would that work? And he said, first, we're going to deport the people that are criminals that are here. We're going to target that and start with that. And then we'll see what happens with employers and others if they're self-deporting. My point is, majority numbers may be approaching 60% now. They don't blanch when they hear the word deportation. Oh, my God, I'm not going to sign off with that. It's come to that level.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is a big deal. And you're right. The polling shows that a sizable majority of Americans are in favor of what he's talking about, mass deportations. And you heard him explain it like you just described. He's going to be very methodical about it. He has an idea. He has a plan. He has an approach. Kamala Harris still doesn't get it. This is one of those issues where she doesn't get it. She mocks this idea. She said from behind the podium, she's talking about Donald Trump wants to do mass deportations. And, when you show this piece of video, I want to put a tag on the end of it that says, I'm Donald Trump and I approve this message,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're exactly right. He is doing those things, and you're a dummy for telling people that's a bad thing. More than half of the people that you're talking to agree with him. And she's like doing our campaigning for us. It just shows that they live in such a bubble. They have no idea what normal people think because they only ever talk to people who see the world the way they do. They think that they can just say Trump and immigration, and that's good enough, and that wins the argument, and they can move on. Well, they're wrong. They've always been wrong. It's a key issue, just like the economy is a key issue. She's wrong on that as well. She's hiding from her record. She doesn't get it because she never talks to anyone who disagrees with her.
Absolutely. So, Tim, where would you point our listeners to volunteer more in from the whole thing for the Trump campaign?
Yeah.
Where do they go?
ProtectTheVote.com is where you got to go, and that's where you can volunteer. If you're a lawyer, we would love to have your volunteer expertise. That would be fantastic. If you want to do things for Election Day, turnout operations, EDO, which is Election Day operations, poll watchers, the whole bit. ProtectTheVote.com, that's where you got to go.
Thank you, Tim, as always. Thanks for joining us.
Dom, you bet. Thank you.
Tim Murtaugh here. And to that point, I like to keep you updated on this and reassure you. Linda Kearns just sent me a little while ago, our election integrity point person here. They're going after Montgomery County. You know, the ice cream truck guy over there in Montgomery County who won't come on the show, the head commissioner. He wanted to be the first in Pennsylvania to put out their mail-in ballots. And he had the first one, of course. The Kearns people and Watley, the RNC, are on this memo that was sent to me. They're going after this because they did not do the proper testing. So they're in court. They're going after them on this. What I'm trying to tell you is no stone is going to be left unturned. They're on it here in Pennsylvania. So don't be a defeatist. Don't be believing, oh, they're just going to, what difference does it make? All that nonsense. That's exactly what they want. So Montgomery County illegally jumped the gun here by putting these out without the proper procedures. I'm not saying it's criminal or anything. I'm saying they're trying to force them now back into the testing and other things that are required that other counties are doing. Also, I'll get into this too. Luzerne County, the center of the action with Scott Presler and all, and as you know, a county that can go either way, they yesterday said they're not going to do drop boxes. Drop boxes in toto are out. They said it costs too much to monitor them. We don't believe that we can accurately allow these to be part of the vote. What I'm trying to tell you is we're winning on a lot of these things. Now, if you don't get the way the world works and you think every one of these we have to win all the time, or you want to give up, well, then you're not going to win. I'm convinced in Pennsylvania, Presler on the one hand, Kearns on the other hand, the RNC really, really on top of pouring a lot of resources into it. We're on it this time. Phone lines are at 855-839-1210. You get in. Hit me on the side question today in honor of all this labor Teamsters talk. Hit us with a career, a job, and then tell me, real or fictional, the face of that, whatever that career job is, who throughout, they could be living, dead, doesn't matter, real or fictional, that you think fits that role. I said preacher Martin Luther King Jr. You heard Henry's with John Wick outside the box. Hit us with that right now. 855-839-1210, AT&T, and Verizon Wireless. Just push pound 1210. Boy, I'd love to get on the Auto Workers of America, the UAW, United Auto Workers, because, the media ought to be telling you they're not just the people that build cars. They have all these university types and all of these woke people in there And I don't know how that membership, I just think would be at war with each other, given their real values and what they're about. So this is a big moment. I don't care what anyone says with the Teamsters. Well, why didn't he just endorse? It would have been political suicide. Releasing that poll, to Tim Murtaugh's point, is huge. It reaffirms in the minds of people out there what we always suspected. These people are not on board with Harris. Maybe if it were Biden, they'd put up with the other nonsense. Democrats have to put up someone that can fool them like Biden. Remember when he first ran? They couldn't put up Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, people like that. By the way, guess who they have imitating J.D. Vance? Mayor Pete in the debate prep for the VP debate coming up. Oh, man, if I see Mayor Pete over there next to me, I'm thinking, wow, where did they get the,
that's the best they can do.
Yeah, it's the best.
That's the best.
Well, they think that J.D. Vance is smart and Mayor Pete is smart, too. I guess it's the only thing. I don't exactly feel like I'm going 15 rounds if Mayor Pete is over there.
Might want to bring in some outside help.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so it's 855-839-1210. More calls coming up. Bob Brady at 1:30 here on Talk Radio 1210.
Hi, this is Carson Daly, inviting you to be part of Odyssey's mental health initiative, I'm Listening. As a dedicated mental health advocate, it is my great honor to again be hosting this awesome 2-hour special, along with Dr. Alfie and Katie Neal, as we engage in this very meaningful conversation. Connect with us right here for I'm Listening.
Next Wednesday, September 25th at 7 p.m. here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Cancer, a scary word, but not so scary if you have the right team. Hi, this is John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And that team is Dr. Molly Fantasia and the medical staff at Innovative Medical Associates. Yes, cancer is a scary word and a difficult condition if you've been diagnosed. Over the years, the staff at Innovative Medical Associates has helped hundreds of patients with their unique medical hydration protocols. Cancer support is a large part of the practice at Innovative Medical Associates.
We believe in medical hydration. We've improved it so much that we are able to help people across the board with challenges before they become chronic.
Talk about improving your quality of life. Most likely, that'll happen when you visit Innovative Medical Associates. Check them out on the web at innovativemedicalassociates.com or call 856-489-0505 to schedule your initial complimentary consultation.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
What's better than saving? Saving with certainty. Open a First Harvest Credit Union 7-month certificate online and earn 5.25% APY. Visit firstharvestcu.com/online exclusives to learn more about this online-only offer. Want more reasons why we're a better place to grow? Check out our other savings options, like our growth savings account with amazing rates. First Harvest Credit Union, serving the Delaware Valley for over 84 years. Membership restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at Cherokee High School in Marlton, New Jersey, Saturday, October 26th. It's the story of Philadelphia sports put to music.
Oh, I thought it was awesome. It was funny and like great band. His imitation of the Bee Gees.
The stylistics and stuff, I just love that.
Oh, it was great. This is the third time we've seen him. He's awesome.
I can relate to Joe Conklin. Great variety. There was something for everyone.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm at Cherokee High School in Marlton, New Jersey, Saturday, October 26th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. JoeConklin.com!
The back-to-school savings event is here at Hessert Chevrolet. Drive away in a 2024 Trax 2RS at $298 for 36 months. Or electrify your commute in a 2024 Equinox LS at $249 for 24 months. Enjoy top-rated customer service and unbeatable deals. Don't wait. These offers won't last. Experience the difference at Hessert Chevrolet, Philadelphia's trusted Chevy dealer. Check us out at HessertChevy.com. Call 267-343-9094 for details.
Concert season is just heating up. Check out these awesome upcoming shows presented by Live Nation.
Jeff Lynn's ELO at Wells Fargo Center, September 20th and 21st. Ringo Starr and his all-star band at TD Pavilion at The Man on September 24th. Pod Save America podcast at the Met Philadelphia, presented by Highmark, October 6th.
To buy tickets and to check out all upcoming concerts, head to livenation.com right now.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet?
Not yet.
Do it today.
Okay.
At 1210 WPHT.
All right, it is Dom time. By the way, it just occurred to me during the break. I think I saw his name on the side question, pilot. You know who I want? The face of being an airline pilot. Sully. Yeah, I'm just going to land it on the Hudson.
Yeah.
It is one of the top, boldest things. And what would have happened? He would have crashed, I believe. They neutered that out if he tried to still get to an airport. It was a freakish type of thing. And he said, yeah, I can land on the Hudson. What's the big deal?
Yeah, that's got to be one of the gutsiest calls of all time.
Man. You hear Dan Borowski piloting today. And your other choice is Sully's flying this plane. It'll take you a half hour more to get there, but I think I'll go with it. Right on the Hudson. I can't think of a better guy that you're going to put in as pilot. All right, so name the job and then name the person that is the face of that. I might differ a little bit with the Earl of Tacony on this one. He's got a good one, though. Hey, Earl, good afternoon. What do you have today?
Just on the Northeast Extension, all my way to Tunkhannock, Pennsylvania, to check and see if the rumors are true.
Well, that's exactly right. You've been on this story about people coming in there, and these are people through the refugee program, right?
Yes. I was trying to talk to someone earlier that works in the town, but I wasn't able to really get an answer off of her. But I am going to drive straight through the middle of town. I usually take the bypass, but this time I'm going to take Route 6 business right through town and see if I happen to, see anything that, looks out of the ordinary. Although it's been 30 years since I've actually driven through the center of town, but, see if anybody's hanging on the corner.
Yeah, exactly. Well, look, Alabama, there's another town that's in the news, same kind of thing as Charleroi. All of a sudden, influx of people show up, overwhelming numbers for small towns like this.
But I actually have a double shot, actually a triple shot, really. My answer is going to be defense attorneys, and that would be Johnny Cochran and his fictional alter ego, Jackie Childs from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
And the reason I picked Johnny Cochran is because he did get an acquittal for O.J. Simpson, who is the face of Bruno Mali's shoes.
Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to think in the past if there was anybody better than Johnny Cochran, and I think for dramatics, you're exact. I think F. Lee Bailey in the day was the top rated, but where we are now, ultimately in the O.J. thing, Cochran was when he put that hat on and he's running around, and if it doesn't fit, you got to acquit. You can't beat that. He was against morons, too. That's the problem.
And he took over after Melvin Belli. Belli was another one.
Yeah, exactly. Good stuff, Earl. Give us a report. Thank you. Yeah, Johnny Cochran's pretty hard to beat on the side. Simple thing, give us the job, give us the career, and give us the person that you think matches that. I mentioned, and I wanted to play it again because Riley Gaines came on just at that point. We were just talking to Tim Murtaugh about Trump saying deportation. And he's got a follow-up because he knows, well, how would that look? How are you going to take 16 million, 20 million people all at once? And he didn't say all at once. He said we're going to deport criminals en masse. But here's Janet Yellen. This will be cut 14, guys. Yellen, the Secretary of Treasury, at a big event today, saying you start deporting people here illegally, A, you're going to have massive inflation, and B, in this cut, you're going to destroy the American economy. Do you think the American people are going to be backed away by that? Or are they going to say, no. We've had it with this. Just look at what's happening in any number of these towns. All right, here's what Yellen said.
There was a study, speaking of which, the other day that calculated that undocumented migrants account for 22% of agricultural workers, 15% of construction workers, 8% of manufacturing workers, and 8% of service workers, including childcare workers. In your view, what would be the impact of removing all or most of them from the economy in a short time through a program of mass deportation?
Well, I believe that immigrants have always made and continue to make a positive contribution to the U.S. economy. Between, I think, 2010... You know, we have an aging population. Withdrawing, it's pushing down labor force participation. Between 2010 and 2018, immigrants made up, I believe, 60% of all additions to the labor force. They obviously contribute to the dynamism of the U.S. economy, and we need, I believe, an orderly immigration system. And there's obviously work to do for Congress to work with the administration to accomplish that, but I think it would be devastating to simply
remove
this number of immigrants.
All right, so there you go from Janet Yellen. We would collapse. Are the American people going to be backing away? That's going to be the argument they're going to make. The first argument they're going to try on Trump when he says this is, oh, yeah, well, how are you going to do that? And he was smart on Gutfeld last night. He said, well, what we're going to do is we're going to deport all the criminals. All right? That's where it started. And then move on from there. He did not say we're going to go door to, exactly the type of thing that they want here. He didn't say this in 2016 or pretty much in 2020 that I've seen. You're going to hear more of this because the polling, the gut instinct is people want this stopped. We're tired of being told what we can't do with this. And Democrats have exacerbated the problem big time. And they've done it through executive order with refugees. And we're seeing it play out. Now, again, you got to be buttoned up on this. Tomorrow in Charleroi, that we've been happy to bring you twice, they're going to hold a big news conference talking about what's happened to that small town in Pennsylvania. Dave McCormick will be there pushing back against Bob Casey Jr. Trump is going to go to Springfield, Ohio, maybe Aurora. He ought to hold a town hall in Springfield, Ohio. Vance, too. It's an epicenter of something that people deeply care about. So the pushback are two, A, you can't do that, and B, the country will collapse if we do that. Let's go to Robert in Ben Salem on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Robert, welcome in.
Hey, Dom, it's good to talk to you today. You know, Rich Zeoli is right about something. He says that Janet Yellen sounds like Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. And she really does.
Yeah.
Listen to it sometimes.
Yeah.
But I forgot something yesterday. The lowering the interest rates usually also leads to increased hiring. The question is whether it will be American citizens who will be hired when they do that, if it works. But there's just – anyway, let me get to my side question. I was wrestling, and I want to switch my answer. The profession is shoe salesman, and the face of that is Al Bundy. I'm sorry, but I spent too many years laughing at that guy to not give him some props.
That is
you guys
great.
have yourselves a great day, all right?
That is a great outside-the-box answer, without a doubt. All right, 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is just push pound 1210, and we'll get you on board. That is a really interesting answer. All right, coming up, Bob Brady. Bob and I have known each other for a number of years, the head of the Democrats in Philadelphia, big-time labor negotiator, etc. And we become colleagues. He is also an insider on Inside Story. He was on with us from Mulligan's a few weeks ago down in Wildwood. He said he was opposed to this Chinatown stuff. Why not just refurbish, as was offered, down where the stadium complexes are for the Sixers, some kind of deal like that. But I also want to ask him, I think if Joe Biden were running against Trump, they would have given the endorsement to Biden. they might have even had the backing of the Teamsters for Biden. Maybe. Because Biden is still viewed as the ultimate Joe from Scranton union guy and moderate Democrat. Even though his policies, I guess they'll say, well, that's what he has to do type of stuff. But with Harris in there, it exposed how many of these Teamsters not only support Trump, but support the policies and certainly do not support Harris. It's a big deal. I know people have trouble, well, they should have endorsed Trump then. That would have been political suicide for the union, for Teamsters. They're telling you, they're signaling by releasing that poll. All right, so we have a lot to talk with Bob Brady coming up. First, though, let me talk to you about Chucky's. What a hectic time it is when autumn arrives. All those activities, back to school, football, and all that stuff going on. Let Captain Chucky's jump into the ring and manage your meal planning. Get the all-new wild shrimp scampi ravioli. Chucky's teaming up with Vera Pasta, offering lobster, crab, and now wild shrimp ravioli. And remember, get that jumbo, bang jumbo lump crab cake. That delicious, creamy 5-ounce jumbo lump breaded crab cake with a kick. For those who like to spice it up with some heat, check your store for availability. Perfect time, too, to check on all of Captain Chucky's offering. Delicious stuff, mushrooms, salads, desserts. Get a tray or two for that football viewing party. You know how I love Captain Chucky's. Try my Dom roll with them. Yeah, I worked on it a little bit. I ate some of them and said, this is great. Put them out there. Put my name on it. That golf shrimp, too. Any kind of part, anything you're doing, you got to get that. It's a huge hit. It's always wild caught, never farm raised. Captain Chucky's, there's a location near you. Go to WeLoveCrabCakes.com, WeLoveCrabCakes.com. And don't forget Captain Chucky's at the shore if you're headed down to the shore.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Warm and pleasant conditions are in the forecast as we head into the weekend. A mixture of sunshine and clouds today. It will be less humid with a high 84. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 66 for the city, cooler in the suburbs. And for Friday, partly sunny and pleasant with a high 81.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Just 2 years ago, Bob Casey told us his vote for $1 trillion spending spree would miraculously reduce inflation. Casey promised his vote
will reduce inflation.
Have you been to a grocery store lately? Did Casey reduce anything except his credibility? In fact, it was Bob Casey's vote for reckless spending that caused this inflation in the first place. Prices went up, and now you're paying more for almost everything. Casey admits he failed. Prices have skyrocketed. Just listen to Casey.
You have boneless chicken going up 38%, and paper products like toilet paper going up 35%.
Groceries cost more. Rent and housing cost more. Pennsylvania families are struggling. Casey promised to fix this mess. Instead, he made it worse. Bob Casey failed. We need a change to get back on track. It's time to change Washington. It's time to fire Bob Casey. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are having 2 fabulous back-to-school specials. The 2024 S60 front-wheel drive sedan and the exciting electric C40 each can be leased for 36 months for $369. Due at inception would be a down payment and taxes and registration fees, but in New Jersey, the C40 has no tax. The $369 is an incredible payment on each of these Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo. Our team would be honored to partner with you.
Look at you. Your life is under control. Errands? Done. Groceries? Got 'em. It's a good time to give yourself a reward. You know the one. Your favorite tasty cake treat. Is it the delicious crimpet or the mouthwatering candy cake? No matter where you are, choose what feels right and enjoy. You've earned it, and you know you deserve it. Tasty cake, accept no substitutes.
Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds guaranteed with NJ Diet. NJ Diet uses DNA and blood work to help you lose weight and keep it off. Tune into their radio show Sundays at 2 or visit njdiet.com.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, big issues, big guests. Two big stories today. I couldn't bring a better guy on to talk about the two of them, and maybe differ a little, maybe agree. Chinatown, the building of the Sixers arena there, huge, ridiculous mistake when there was a great alternative, my view. And no Joe Biden at the top of the ticket. So the Teamsters, of all people, both don't endorse and then put out this poll which exposes what? A rift between what might be moderate Democrats and where some people in the party, the Democrat Party, are going. Bob Brady, chair of the Democrat City Committee, and the guy, whenever there's a labor management dispute, historically, they bring him in because he can talk to both sides to get an agreement. He joins us on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Bob, welcome back in. And again, thanks for coming into Mulligan's and having a few with us a few weeks ago. It was great to see you there. So you at Mulligan's, Bob, were on the other side, as I am, with the Chinatown thing. And you know better than I, but I just know broadly, there was a great alternative there, right, to stay in the complex down where the sports things are placed.
Well, I talked to Dan Hilford actually today, and they're still going forward with it. They're still going to build the complex.
Okay.
They're still going to do, build a complex down there. There's a lot of room down there, and they're going to go through with it. The mayor, I would imagine, look, sometimes you got to dance with the partners that brought you, and the building trades brought her along. No question about that. And I guess she didn't want to be the mayor that was responsible for having the Sixers leave Philadelphia, which is a scary thought. I mean, I hate to see them leave too, but it would have been nice if they could have worked out a better deal and moved down to the Comcast Sports Complex Center down there, and it would have saved a lot of this angst that we're having now with this who's for it, who's against it. But then again, it's a big boom for the city in the desolated area. I just hope now that if it does happen, that it will work out and people will still come. And I worry about the open dates, what's going to happen on them open dates and whether they can fill them. And if they can, then it'll work.
Well, I would say this, too. The Inquirer and I rarely agree. It's probably the same with you, but the studies indicate there could be gridlock there. I don't see, Bob, how SEPTA is going to appeal. I know it's years down the road to people in the suburbs who'd be going home at 10 o'clock at night with their kids and use that to avoid it. It will be a crush, and Jefferson's there. You could have, every moment counts with a heart attack or other injuries. Again, I think you laid out before, and the guy you talked about, they want to do all out to the Sixers so they don't feel like vagabonds there. I get it. But it wasn't that the idea of putting it down there and you placated people. You were involved in this. You gave some breaks to people in South Philly so it wouldn't be too bad for them. And by and large, it's worked out. I don't think you can do that in the dense area like Center City, Philadelphia.
Well, it's ironic you talk about Jefferson Hospital. They were for it. They didn't want to come out, but they're for it. They're for that stadium being down there. And I kind of agree with you. I mean, for somebody to drive in, I don't know what they're going to do, how much parking spaces they're going to have, or how much that'll work. But to take the public transportation, I just don't know how many people out of the suburbs want to take public transportation into the city of Philadelphia. I know they don't do it for the Sixers game down at the course base down there, but hey, we'll see. I guess maybe they can figure something out a little better. They got a lot of years to do that, and hopefully that can happen. If they do, if council does agree now, and that council, I believe the votes are there. Once the mayor puts the package up, I know that Mark Skrilla's got to pass. It's his district, but I do believe that they're not going to go against the mayor. They'll have 9 votes to pass that.
Wanted to talk with you, too, about something when we saw it start to break yesterday. Look, I commend the guy. You probably know him, too, Sean O'Brien, who heads the Teamsters, because I realize politically he couldn't kill himself here and just endorse Trump, the fierceness of this election, et cetera. But he did 2 things. He released the poll showing how sizable amounts, at least according to him, of his membership feel. He said he couldn't get a deal or agreement from either one of them. And we immediately were thinking of you because Joe Biden would have gotten the endorsement. He's the ultimate union guy. Isn't this an indicator that Trump's style, and also, Bob, the fact that a lot of the people in the Teamsters just think a certain wing of the party, not Biden necessarily, but others, are sometimes even demeaning to them? Well, what do you think of what O'Brien did here as a labor leader?
Well, he covered his butt. He didn't want to force an issue where 40% plus were against him. If he did Trump, and then, then he didn't want to do. He didn't want to do Harris because there'd be 50-some% according to his poll that would be against him. So he split the baby in half and let the people decide what they want to do. But the most important part about this is all the swing states, including Pennsylvania, by the way, all the swing states, all the Teamsters there voted to endorse Kamala Harris. So my interest in the state of Pennsylvania and primarily in the city of Philadelphia. We need to bring a large vote out in the city of Philadelphia to overcome some parts of the middle part of the state. And Allegheny County is going to do a good job. They got a concert up there with Taylor Swift. I think they're going to circle that thing with the satellite offices. That's a pretty big boost for Kamala Harris. I mean, I love her, man.
But let me take it back to it, Bob. All right, isn't the proposition? The poll is interesting, though, too, because I've always believed, and Johnny Dock and I have talked about this and others, maybe with you, there are a lot of people, I'll say it this way, a lot of people in the building trades and others, their values more aligned, basically, with conservative value. They're patriotic Americans, all that stuff. I get it. They didn't see the Republican Party as bonding with them on labor issues, maybe, and style, like Mitt Romney never was going to win them. And Trump has broken through with this. So I get you. The union leaders, you're right, in those swing states are saying that. But I didn't see any polls. You believe in Philadelphia, really, that Trump would not be at least 50-50 with Harris if we took a poll of the various unions in Philadelphia that are Teamsters?
No, I think that she would be overwhelmingly, the people that I talk to, the building trades, the AFL-CIO, they're all for her. And the reason why I say that is that I'm getting inundated with requests for signs for people to work. Where do you want us to go? And what I tell our union brothers and sisters that I want you to tell your people to work where they live. It's just where they know their neighbors. And I never had that before. I had unions always say, look, we want to put some people on the street and we need some signs. Just 2-3 days in a row, I've gotten calls from every different unions. Where's our signs? I need 500 signs. I need 600 signs. And then now they're tasking me to give them a blueprint where their members should go and where they're going to fill in. And it's all about where they live.
And this is building trades, you're saying?
This is building trades and AFL-CIO. District Council 33. I got killed for signs. The plumbers got killed for signs. Painters got killed for signs. Bricklayers getting killed for signs. Building trades, all the building trades council. We need signs. We need signs. We had a couple of good rallies with the building trades for Bob Casey and for Kamala Harris, and it was overwhelming. I believe in the city of Philadelphia. I believe that our unions, if there was a poll out there, it would be an 80-20.
Boy, oh man, 80-20. I got to tell you, all right. I'd love to see that. So, okay,
we're building trades.
Yeah, okay. What would you set a number at that you want to carry Philadelphia by that you think reasonably to win Pennsylvania ballpark? What did Biden do the last time in Philadelphia? What did he carry it by?
It was like 470, 475.
Okay.
Along with Clinton, along with Obama, 480. We're looking to try to get 500% 500,000 majority.
Oh.
Well, we got a shot at that.
All right. Can we have a
now,
pizza bet on that? I'll give you odds, though. 500 is a lot. I don't know if I can hold you to that. You carry Philadelphia by 500,000?
You could hold me to 500.
500, Henry. Write that one down. Bob Brady, 500, he says here.
Majority, and the hell with pizza, we're doing lobster.
Oh, okay. That's it. See, that's the Democrat Party, right? They're not. I'm just a pizza guy. Bob Brady, a lobster here.
Let me tell you something. I have pizzas. We have pizza every Wednesday. Pizza with
I know
chairman.
that.
We got 200-300 people. Come on down and visit us. Bring your microphone down.
You know what? What time do you start that?
We're there like from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, easy. Every Wednesday.
If I could get over there by 3:15, I'm on the air noon to 3. I would come over definitely. We're going to work that out.
Well, guess what? Bring your station down here. I'll give you a room. You can broadcast from down here.
I'll ask.
Tommy McDonald comes and hangs out with us.
Yeah, he can set it up. You know what? I will tell Greg Stocker that as we get closer to the election. That would be really good to do. You'd be a good host.
We'll have fun. Well, you can, and you have. We got all the elected officials come down. We got.
Yeah, I know. And don't think I didn't. I remember you set up one of the all-time talk radio broadcasts. I'm not sure if you were there for the whole thing. You were gracious enough. You got us in the Capitol, and that's when our inspector went nuts, attacking Michelle Bachmann, telling her to act like a lady. Oh my God.
You know, she was my date, you know. Remember when we had to go pick a Republican and Democrat to go to the State of the Union?
Yes.
Her office is right across the street right across the hall from mine. She was my date to go to the State of the Union. And you know what? She's a lovely, lovely lady.
She is.
Except for the fact when she votes. One day I'll tell you a good story that I can't tell you on the air.
Okay. All right. We'll get that over an inside story. Bob, thank you. 500,000. We're writing that down. Thank you for coming on.
500,000 majority. You got it.
All right.
We're going to get it.
Bob Brady here. All right, 500,000 out of Philadelphia. Write that one down. Give it to Dan. We'll put it in our ledger. All right. So I need to hear from some union people out there. I've been saving it in our area. Bob Brady said that it would be 80-20 in the building trades and all that for Harris. Now, maybe for Biden, it would be quintessential union guy. But what we see in the Teamsters vote here in nationwide is that that's not so. Not at all. It's a clear, overwhelming win for Trump, not for Republicans or even policies. It's more about Trump's policies and his style and inflation and those issues. So why would someone in a union here in Philadelphia still say they have to vote for Harris? What would the rationale be? Are they immune from inflation, whatever they're making as a union member? All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. Also, hit us, give us the career, occupation, and hit us with who the face of that is at 855-839-1210.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
I don't know if you guys agree with this, but if I'm Trump, I'm no longer taking phone calls from Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. My iPhone rings. You see the little accept or decline button? Decline. I did the photo op with you on 9/11 after the stage debate on ABC. Kamala will be right back on the wagon today, I'm sure, and you're going to hear the same old rhetoric. Not about her opportunity economy and the specifics of what that entails, but just the general entry-level stupid verbiage.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
When you go on vacation, does it make sense to have someone else pack for you? Of course not. The same can be said for your retirement. Your 401k could be packed with things you don't know about or even need. If you're close to retirement but don't have a plan customized to your goals, that's kind of like taking a 30-year vacation with no idea what's in your suitcase. Seems like a stressful way to start what should be a relaxing time. Jim Cipriotti and the Retire Ready Financial Group can help you unpack your savings and build a plan to help reduce future taxes, along with a clearly defined income strategy. Call Jim at 610-894-7415 for your complimentary retirement game plan, or visit retirereadyfg.com. That's 610-894-7415.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriati, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
Family and Company Jewelers on Route 70 in Marlton, New Jersey is known for being South Jersey's diamond destination and your trusted jeweler for quality, service, and price. Choose from the largest selection of engagement rings in the area or have their master jewelers create a one-of-a-kind ring just for your special day. Visit their showroom or shop online at familyjewelers.com.
Family and Company Jewelers, South Jersey's diamond destination.
Gerhard's Appliance September Sidewalk Sale is going on this weekend at our Doylestown location. Come in Saturday from 10 to 4 and Sunday 11 to 4 to save up to 70% on one-of-a-kind, out-of-box, and scratch and dent appliances from all the top brands. Save up to 70% on refrigerators, ranges, dishwashers, microwaves, washers, dryers, and so much more. The September Sidewalk Sale is on this weekend only at Gerhard's Appliances of Doylestown.
Are you looking to remodel your home?
Emmons Remodeling offers complete remodeling services to turn your house into your dream home.
With quality craftsmanship and attention to every detail, Emmons designers and construction experts can handle all of your remodeling needs from kitchens to baths to basements and additions.
Call Emmons today at 856-885-6677 or visit callemmons.com.
From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
What's on the menu for football season? Pork, of course. Get ready for game day with Hatfield and put some pork on your fork. Elevate your kickoff cuisine in halftime feast with Hatfield's winning lineup of marinated pork tenderloins, pork loin fillets, ground pork and sausage, bacon and ham. Whether you're the tailgate king or gridiron gourmet, Hatfield helps you savor the taste of victory. Visit simplyhatfield.com for play-by-play menu inspiration. Find your flavor with Hatfield.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, Tom Giordano show. You just heard Bob Brady on this. Is that just putting a pretty good face on it? I'm not seeing 80-20. They would go here in the building trades for Kamala Harris. Maybe Joe Biden against Trump. Yeah. Are they saying they're immune from what's being done to the middle class, diminishing? They don't go to grocery stores? Let's go to Dave in Philadelphia. Apparently is an electrician in Local 98. Hey, Dave, thanks for calling. Go right ahead. What do you think?
Yeah, hi, Don. How you doing?
Good.
I think it's almost the opposite of what Mr. Brady said. I mean, I do come across some people that really hate Trump. But for the most part, 7 out of 10 people I come across are 100% for Trump.
And is there a particular issue, or is it, as I believe, these issues have been there, it's the style, it's a connection. You know, some think he's obnoxious. We get it. But he's not Mitt Romney in a top hat here.
Well, I mean, the trades are – everybody thinks pretty much common sense. You have to go with common sense. And you see what's going on in the country. And people are sick of it. You know, they're sick of the economy. We work hard. We're sick of the immigration, all the issues that Trump is for. It's common sense. You have to vote for the man.
Well, I had long talks with Johnny Doc and, sometimes off the air, Dave, in the past, and Ryan Boyer's come on the show. And with Johnny, he would say, well, we do push back on illegal immigration. And I said, look, when you want to get some done, when he was really the powerhouse here, you really don't push back on this. They're undercutting you. I get the deal. You got to go along with it. That's part of the Democrat package. If you're too loud about illegal immigration, that's trouble for you.
I agree. But I got to tell you, that is starting to go by the wayside more and more. I'm seeing more work that's being even handed out by the city that going non-union. There's more non-union coming into the city, so I don't see that backing the Democrat and them having our back is playing out as it did years ago.
And I think also, look, Joe Biden could get away with it, but the people that I know, and you know, Dave, I'm sure, are patriotic, almost second to none, and vast segments of the Democrat Party are not. They are just not when it comes to America. There's a disconnect there.
Right. I agree 100%. And, these people that say that the unions are for, Kamala or the Democrats, I don't see it. Not with everybody that I speak. It might be, like you said, they have to put on a face and put the sign outside the building and the banners out. But when you talk to the men, not at all.
Yeah, I think so. Well, Dave, thank you. Thanks very much for coming on today.
All right, you got it, Tom. Thank you.
All right, 855-839-1210. Bob Brady's put a face on it, but the head of the Teamsters released the poll too. They didn't have to do that. They did a poll on top of it. They could have just gotten away with, I think, endorsing Harris, as these other unions are. There's a disconnect. Do you really think the Teamsters are in brotherhood and sisterhood with Randy Weingarten and the teachers' unions? Can you imagine her coming there and telling us some of the stuff they've done? They'd start screaming, "You kept my kid out of school, you know." That's what it would be. Come on. It's a ridiculous situation. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. Coming up, we're going to talk in the 2 o'clock hour with Jim Lee of the over in Winmore, Springfield Township. He was the leader of the committee there when we had that dispute with the cops and their freedom of speech. He's a signatory to this group that says, yes, our community will welcome more refugees, kind of like what we've been talking about for 2 weeks. Would Winmore really take more Haitian refugees? And if so, how many? How would that be done? That's all straight ahead in a big 2 o'clock hour in Dom's Money Melody on Talk Radio 1210.
Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you, period, securing permits and workers and tools, getting those workers and tools to work together, and finding the perfect pair of overalls. Pockets, baby. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Hey, it's Rich Zeoli. Cape May is absolutely gorgeous in the fall. If you have not been to Cape May in the fall, you are missing out. You should book a stay today at my happy place that I know will become your happy place. The Grand Hotel of Cape May, New Jersey. From September 29th through December 21st, the Grand is offering a fabulous fall midweek stay. Stay 2 nights, receive $100 in resort credits. Stay 3 nights, get $150 in resort credits. Stay 5 nights, get $200 in resort credits that can be used at Hemingway's for food and drink or at the gift shop. The Grand offers guest rooms, suites, and townhomes equipped with kitchenettes, and they have 2 huge heated pools, one outdoor, one indoor. The Grand is an amazing place for you and your spouse or the entire family. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. Always book direct with them for the best rates and to get those resort credits. Book your stay today. 800-257-8550. It's 800-257-8550 or GrandHotelCapeMay.com. My happy place. GrandHotelCapeMay.com.
You're driving along when you realize...
Oh, I've got to get over. Oh my gosh, sorry.
You didn't see him, did you? He was in your blind spot. You can also have a blind spot when it comes to your retirement. That's where Joe Yakovich of JML Financial Group comes in. He knows about a little blind spot called taxes. Social Security, your pension, your investments, all can be taxable. Look, you don't want to end up saying...
Will I be writing huge checks to the government when I retire?
Don't get blindsided by taxes. Make sure your retirement plan has a tax plan. With one call to JML Financial Group, 856-925-6674. That's 856-925-6674. Or at jmlfinancialgroup.com. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company. JML Financial Group does not offer legal or tax advice. Please consult the appropriate professional regarding your individual circumstance.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, President Biden today, even though he's an afterthought, they're still trying this. We just heard from a union guy about what even these unions in Philadelphia are looking at, the same thing we are, inflation, the cost of everything, particularly groceries. President Biden saying, I believe it's important for the country to recognize this progress because if we don't, the progress we made will remain locked in the fear of negative mindset that has dominated our economic outlook since the pandemic began. How many times can you go back to the pandemic? It's not that. People see the cost of things. I just told you the other day for Freddie the cat. I hadn't been the one, or I didn't notice it. Usually when we get cat litter, a big box of cat litter, I don't look at the price. It's all bundled in when Ro and I are shopping. I had to go there explicitly to get that and some cat food. And it was $1 off. And I took a look. It's, last time I remembered, it was around $7.59, $8. It was $13.95. Just something simple as this. Yikes. Yes, exactly. And you may have had that because you don't check every item. It's kind of bundled together at a point, and some you do. It's still baked in. It's the rate that is a bit different, but that's it. And we played you yesterday, Patrick Murphy, former congressman. He was on Fox saying, well, it was 9% when Biden took over. No, it was around 2%, kind of a normal thing, or maybe under. You can quibble back and forth. So what's Biden talking about? He's still saying the same thing. They're still refusing to acknowledge all that spending and how that works to create inflation. Harris just refuses to answer and says, I grew up a middle-class kid, and I know I look at Henry. He's been a great audience on this. He gets all, what is it when I say the lawns that gets you there, Henry, when she brings up, and people really love their lawns in my neighborhood.
Yeah, it's just such a loser comment.
Yeah, it is. It's
is that what you think of the middle class? Everyone just loves their lawn?
That's it. They're out there with the lawn.
Just love mowing the lawn.
I hate edging. Maybe I'm not middle class. I hate the edging stuff.
No,
it looks artificial to me. I hate it. But stunning. Still going down this path. So are the Teamsters immune to that? No. The deal always was this, and we kind of got to it with Dave in the last time around. Look, we know that you have different values on these things, but we are going to get you more. And look at those Republicans. There is no sense. You can't bond with a Mitt Romney if you're a building trades guy. Trump is almost like we created him in a laboratory, given he's a billionaire, but he has this touch of relatability, et cetera, because of how he came up and what he's done in the business. He didn't make his billions being a day trader or something, or some kind of maneuvering going on there. It was building primarily, that kind of guy. And that breaks through what was always there. So we'll see if they can win Philadelphia by 500,000 votes. I'm taking the other side of that, definitely. There's wards in South Philly and other places in Philadelphia that are for Trump. And you're going to see more and more of this. All right, 855-839-1210. You get on board. Representative Crockett, all over the place today. That's the woman that got into it with Marjorie Taylor Greene with the big false eyelashes. Said, I'm going to continue saying that Trump is just a threat to democracy, a threat to all those things. They're going to keep on doing it. They're not going to be pushback on how dangerous this is, that we've laid this out, the Hitler stuff, the threat to end the country as we know it. And we'll just have to keep on reminding people of this. That's why we see these outcomes. Hey, one update that is interesting. Luzerne County, and Scott Presler is all over Luzerne County. The county manager, Romilda Crocamo, said in a notice, security concerns and financial risk are reasons not to deploy drop boxes this November. She scuttled the use of drop boxes during the upcoming November election because of staffing shortages. She cited security concerns and financial risk. She said that while I recognize drop boxes can provide alternative means for voters to cast their ballots, I must prioritize the safety and security of our community in the current political environment. We don't have the capability, we don't have the number of staff members to actually stand by the drop boxes to keep them safe, so I decided I'm not going to deploy them. She said in her notice she worried about the potential for illegal activities. Although video surveillance is a check, it's not a foolproof means of ensuring compliance with voting laws. Good for her. Dan, Henry, Luzerne County, Romilda, it's a funny name. I'd love to get her on soon to talk about this, just to endorse and let people know there are people out there pushing back on this stuff in Pennsylvania. We bring you countless times what Linda Kearns and others are doing. So we're not resting on our laurels here, but we're in the game this time. And we're in the game in the mail-in ballot game. And Scott Presler is just remarkable. So we have to carry the ball and run past the finish line and run a little bit further past the finish line. It's there to win. In Pennsylvania, when it's all scraped away, is where we're going to win. 855-839-1210. You get on board. And something I think you're going to see more of, it just occurred to me yesterday how much Trump has been talking about deportation. That deportation is something you can enunciate. You tried doing that in 2016, and you would have been stopped. I don't think the public was fed up enough in 2016. In 2020, we didn't hear it. Now Trump is saying it, and he's got a great comeback when they start. Well, how are you going to do, that stuff? We're going to go after the criminal element, identify them, and get them out of the country first. I would add, in my sense of this stuff, we're going to be looking at people wanting to self-deport because of trying to dry up cheap labor and these unscrupulous employers that engage in this. Now, you're not going to do this overnight. This is difficult, but you're resetting the mindset and saying, no, we're not just going to accept there's nothing you can do about this now. We've overwhelmed you with these numbers. It doesn't have to be that way. All right, but the Teamster story is intriguing. You heard Bob Brady. I think that he's putting a happy face on it. The Chinatown thing is ridiculous. These are billionaires calling the tune here. And the people in Chinatown are the ones that culturally, and I thought that was a value. But he said something. Look, Sherelle Parker was backed by the building trades people here, and they have the black ministers with them, and that's all that matters. And they're going to run this through. Bob said that Jefferson was in favor of it. There's going to be traffic meltdowns there. I love going to Sixers games, but I'm not sure there's any way I'm going at that point in time to where this arena will be. I'm certainly not taking SEPTA. SEPTA's going to be mad. It'll be like the Jetsons. Hi, neighbor. That's how we'll be getting on SEPTA by then. It won't be Escape from New York.
I don't mind the SEPTA too much.
What do you take?
I would take the regional rail to, I guess it would be either Suburban or Jefferson, and then take the subway down to South Philly.
Oh, well, it's the subway part of it that's
I get that. I get how that would drive some people away.
Yeah, and it's random. You don't know at any moment what type of thing. I mean, I haven't taken the subway since the 2016 election. I had to take it from here, 4th and Market, or Broad and Market, down to where it was being held in South Philly.
As somebody who rides public transportation, you're not missing anything. Trust me.
Yeah.
You're not missing anything. And coming in here now at the time I do, you do see a lot. Trust me.
Gotcha. Yeah, you're earlier now. Let me go to Paul in Westchester on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Paul. Good afternoon. Hey, Paul, turn your radio off, would you please?
I don't have it on, but let me turn. Hey, let me ask you something, Don, because you're a second generation immigrant, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let me ask you something, man. And this was in your time when it was a derogatory term, and your relatives came from a whole different continent. What do they meant when they called you Italians WAP?
Well, we know about that. Everybody knows, Paul. What's your point? Without papers. Yeah, we know about that.
Okay, so your ancestors came over here without papers. So now,
no, Paul. Paul, by and large, the system that was set up, you need to have a sponsor. Watch Godfather 2. You had to come through a system. You had to be checked medically. By and large, Paul, that's the way that it operated. Why would you want to bring that up? You want people just to flood the country?
Well, let me say now. You keep. I know you want to strong arm the conversation because it's your show, but let the minority have some airtime. So, with that being said, even if your ancestors had a sponsor, what makes you not? Your ancestors came from a whole different continent. These people are from the same continent. These are the same thing. How you sit there and also about the Haitians. What? All the other immigrants who came, matter of fact, the Ukrainians and everything. What makes the Haitians stand out?
Okay, I'll tell you what. Wait a minute, Paul. It's not color. That's not what it is. What it is about the Haitians, because I would, Paul, you know me, over the years, I say this many times, I'd much rather talk if the Ukrainian influx was overwhelming the system, because then we know they're white. We don't have to bring race into it. So what this is, imagine a town like Charleroi, around 4,000 people, and suddenly 2,000 people plus show up that have been resettled with no preparation. Kindergarten class of 60, 45 of them speak Creole or French coming there. Paul, they can't handle this.
Okay, so once again, as you say, as they can't handle it because they're Creole French. That's what you're saying, that we don't know.
It's
the
the numbers also. It's the numbers.
Dom, you strong arming the conversation, Dom. Let the caller have some airplay time. You got 2-3 hours to talk. So now
that's not enough, as we know. I demand more. But go ahead, Paul. Give me another comment.
Okay, so now the other comment is, it is a known fact. That's the only thing that stares them out. If they were not, and it's just been since America. It's been since the time of America. And then you guys talk about, and then also, I challenge you, your early Nick, I challenge Dawn. You guys talk about minorities every single day, black and brown people. Even on Fox Station, they have one person on there who's a liberal. You guys just go circling the wagons. Your callers is all white. You don't never get a minority perspective. You the one who was helped spreading that Haitian lie when you turned out it was false.
Well, thank you, Paul, very much. I think you've self-identified as a minority, so you're saying it to the wrong guy in the wrong show. How many things over the years have we mixed it up with people that call in and identify there? All right, so let's stick to the subject. Are you a fan of the Godfather series?
I don't condone violence.
Where did you pull that one from? I don't remember that.
I think he was talking about the Godfather, and you asked him, and it was like one of those, man, we've got to pull that one.
Oh, yeah. Well, Godfather 2. Corleone, take the name of the town, if you remember. The kids. TB. He's got to go through the sanitarium and all that. 855-83. It's always my... at least I didn't hear the magic word, Henry. You know me fairly well, but maybe not quite. The thing that sets me off into chuckling now, I used to get mad, is when someone says Caucasians. Like the Giordanos in the Caucasus Mountains, there's not exactly a mixture here of connect. It's the stupidest word. Stop using, I don't even get offended anymore. It's just crazy talk, using the word Caucasians. Say white, just say white. What's the?
It's the time we live in. It's all about the words. Everything you say.
Yeah, exactly. What's your heritage? We know Dan's. We know Jim. We got the big 3 heritages covered on this show.
Yeah.
Italian, Italian, obviously, and Polish.
Well, you just said both of mine right there. I'm Irish and Italian.
Ah, that's an interesting combination. Which one's which? The dad is.
My majority. So my dad's side is. My grandfather was Italian. My grandmother was Irish. Both my grandparents on my other side are Irish.
So they like this mix-up, yeah.
Yeah.
At one point in time, those two would not have married. So that's rare.
Oh, yeah, you are right. That would never happen. Because that's my heritage as well. I'm mostly Irish, but part Italian as well.
Yeah. So, all right. It is time, though, to put all that aside. Thank you, Paul, because we got the daily number from Henry. That's right.
Money Melody.
That is right. And we are playing right now today for a copy of Letters to Trump. Now, this book is both hilarious and serious. You know the point. All these famous people, how they worship Trump until Trump ran for it's a coffee table book. You'll love having it out. Henry, what's your backstory?
Yeah, so we're talking about the greatest at their jobs today. And I also noticed on Phil's segment earlier this morning that it's Lita Ford's birthday, so it got me thinking, like, oh, who might be the greatest female rock band of all time? I thought about the Runaways, and I thought about the movie. And I thought about, hey, what's their iconic song? Cherry Bomb. I'm going to play Cherry Bomb. You're going to tell me who's the actress singing it. Simple enough?
Absolutely. So let's hear it. You said actress, right?
I want the actress from the movie, The Runaways.
Oh, the actress from
maybe
the movie
I didn't make
Runaways.
that clear. The actress
from the movie Runaways
who sings that song in the movie.
Oh, boy. A little complicated here. Dan style here on this.
I'm trying to I'm trying to do my best Dan impression here on this. All right?
Yeah,
I don't want to make it too easy.
Yeah, exactly. All right, hit us with that, and you got the Trump coffee table book that you'll love. You'll be pointing to the conversation piece that we talked about earlier. People come out, look at page 78. Alec Baldwin. You'll have it thumbed right there. Trump comped him, what he said. 855-839-1210. Hit us with that. Jump in right now here on Talk Radio 1210.
Hi, this is Carson Daly, inviting you to be part of Odyssey's mental health initiative, I'm Listening. As a dedicated mental health advocate, it is my great honor to again be hosting this awesome 2-hour special, along with Dr. Alfie and Katie Neal, as we engage in this very meaningful conversation. Connect with us right here for I'm Listening.
Next Wednesday, September 25th at 7 p.m. here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Gail Schlosser, and I started with Crash Proof Retirement in 2016. What impressed me about the Crash Proof events was that Phil presented us with hard facts. It's just impossible to have a steady income from the stock market. If the market crashes, I would lose most of my retirement money. With Crash Proof Retirement, I'll take money out to go on a cruise and I'll still have money in my accounts. With the Crash Proof Retirement system, I'm getting great returns, up to 12 to 15%, because I can take the money out and the interest keeps building money for me in my Crash Proof accounts. And I have not had to pay any fees. My money is safe and it's not going to be dwindle away in the stock market. With the Crash Proof Retirement system, I've got peace of mind, so I can take all the cruises I want.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at Spring Mill Country Club on October 16th, 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are having 2 fabulous back-to-school specials. The 2024 S60 front-wheel drive sedan and the exciting electric C40 each can be leased for 36 months for $369. Do-it inception would be a down payment and taxes and registration fees. But in New Jersey, the C40 has no tax. The $369 is an incredible payment on each of these Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo. Our team would be honored to partner with you.
Guess what, people? Wendy's has new saucy nugs. You heard me. Wendy's nugs now come in 7 saucy flavors. Buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, spicy ghost pepper. You can literally hear your taste buds after every bite. I'm serious. Listen to mine. Okay, that's just me playing with sound effects. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location.
The air is cooler, the leaves are changing, and football is back. While the players are making moves on the field, you can make the ultimate move with a beautiful engagement ring from Cozy Jewelers. Still not sure? Hey, the holidays will be here sooner than you think. So stop into Cozy Jewelers and huddle up with Paul Cozy and pick out a custom engagement ring that will make this the most magical holiday ever. Step up to the 5th C. That's color, cut, clarity, carat, and cozy. Cozy Jewelers, located in Newtown Square, or CozyJewelers.com.
It's not just about watching the game, it's about betting on it. I'm Mike Valeni, and on Cash the Ticket, Jim Costa and I break down every college football and NFL matchup like it's the last game we're ever going to watch. From the best bets to the sneaky underdogs, and of course, as my co-host likes to say, the value. And the one thing we're not going to do is pretend we're professionals. We have fun with it, it's an entertainment product, and it makes watching games a hell of a lot of fun. So Cash the Ticket, follow it in the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Free speech lives here. With Dom Giordano, weekdays noon till 3 on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
It's Dom Money Melody.
That is right. Every day at around 2:13, we engage in that, and I'm amazed the number of people that have lined up. You heard the backstory of this. Let's hear the audio clue, and let's see if we can get a winner. All right, we're looking for the actress singing the song, Tony in Philly on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Tony, who's the actress?
Kristen Stewart.
No, sorry about that. I think that's made sense. Thank you, Tony. That made sense to me. I thought it was a sensible answer. Let's go to Karen in Souderton. Who's singing it, Karen?
It's Dakota Fanning.
Wow, that's shocking. How did you know that, Karen? Did you see the film? How would you?
I don't know how I knew it.
Wow. All right. I will put you on hold, and we will get you that coffee table book. That's pretty tough, Henry. That was pretty complicated. So you're surprised, aren't you?
A little bit. I mean, if you look up covers for this song, it'll show up. And in the movie, too. It's either Kristen or it's Dakota. And you had a 50-50 shot there.
Yeah. Well, just the age. Dakota Fanning is how old now?
Oh, man. I saw her on TV recently. She was talking about having kids, or like she has kids. I was like, man, I feel old.
Dakota Fanning with Tom Cruise in the film.
The War of the Worlds.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not that long ago, is it?
That's 20 years ago.
Is it 20 years ago?
Yeah,
okay, well, then that makes sense. Yeah.
Dakota's 30.
Wow. I can't watch her because I have a thing with, look, I know the need of child actors and actresses. It was too much in that film. It's too much in a lot of stuff. I get squeamish about it, yeah. I think she's a very good actress. She's blossomed into that.
She's one of the best child actors,
Oh,
too.
yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. Might be a side question there. Child actors. Got to think if there are enough of them. Yeah. All right. We're always looking for them. Send them to us. Lady Gaga. I'm considering asking them to come on. Lady Gaga, they teased it today on Fox and Friends. The father, who owns a restaurant, came on and endorsed Donald Trump. Now, it's not Lady Gaga, but, you know, the dad, I think, helps manage the career. I think is not estranged from the daughter, is tight with her. And, you know, your dad comes on and endorses Trump, says what a patriot he is and all this other stuff. I think that's kind of a bold move. And he talked about it as a restaurateur, what it's like under Bidenomics, what's happened here. So watch for more on that front. And I got something else that's really interesting. Now, it's just a poll about favorability or popularity. The headline is good for Democrats. Headline, this New York Times Siena College poll. Josh Shapiro is more popular in Pennsylvania by far than Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, even, heaven forbid, Taylor Swift. He remains the most popular government official in the critical battleground state. Now, you know my differences with him, but I get what he projects of why he might be seemingly popular. 59% of likely Pennsylvania voters strongly approve or somewhat approve of Shapiro's leadership. Now, let's underline this and think about this. Think about a party with a guy who is seen this way. I'm not acknowledging I agree with it. I'm just saying perceptually, he is seen as that sort of person. And yet he wasn't picked to be the VP in the ultimate swing state. Why? You know why. The mob, Israel, Gaza, that whole thing, and he might upstage her too. Shapiro's high approval ratings outpaced the favorability ratings of Harris, who's at 51%. But listen to this dogfight. Favorability, Trump, 45, Taylor Swift, only 46. So Trump and Taylor Swift are almost equally unfavorable. They're underwater here.
That's shocking.
Isn't it? Yeah. A third of likely Trump voters still hold a favorable view of Shapiro, according to the poll. I'm not seeing in here what they think of Swift. But again, isn't it more obvious how out of control the progressive wing, which is mostly the party, is, that they wouldn't tag in Shapiro with this type of favorability because of those two things that I mentioned, but particularly Israel, the mob, Hamas. And it's going to be interesting October 7th to see who says what. Last night at the Zionist of America, Rich and I got an award. I showed you that before. That is just stunning. I'll hold it up one more time here. You can see it on youtube.com/1210WPHT. It's beautifully done. It's amazing. Thank you to Steve Feldman and Zionists of America. He'll be on the show tomorrow. Not that heavy, but it's so creative. Rich thought the same thing. Maybe he'll show you his today, too. And there was a lot of talk of October 7th, and that's going to play out politically because Harris is going to conflate the two things. Well, you know, what about the people in Gaza? The polling in Gaza indicates that people are supportive of Hamas. Now, who knows there? You get killed if you're not. I get it. It's very hard to tell. But I think Israel is textbook doing the right thing as far as what they're doing in Gaza. All right, let's go to Joe in Columbus, New Jersey. Joe, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Hi.
Hey, Tom. That Lady Gaga's father's interview was interesting, but they left out one important question.
Okay.
I was begging for. What do you think the fallout's going to be from the Hollywood elite through your daughter onto you?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna ask him that because I bet he'll come on and
that should have been the first question asked, Tom.
Yeah. Well, look, it's in a ticklish situation here, and I don't think he's estranged from the daughter. So I think he told her, and she said it was okay. So you're right.
I wonder if he laid the ground rules down. Don't ask me about the Hollywood elite. That's hands off. But that's the begging question. You know how they come at you. You go against them, they're at you. They're in your face.
Well, Lady Gaga would be pretty hard to bring down, but you know what? In an election like this, they would go after her. Yeah.
Well, she could have went after him and said, "Hey, Dad, keep it light on me, please. Don't.
Oh yeah, she could have said, "Dad, don't do that," and I think he might have done it. But perfect guy with that, and he's a restaurateur that have really suffered under Bidenomics. Sure.
No, he's at ground zero. I'd like to ask Mr. Brady. I would like, just for once, somebody like Mr. Brady to step out of his mold, because you get the impression he looks at his calendar at the end of every summer, late summer, early fall, and says, "Oh, it's that time. Let me find out why I got to support this Democrat." Because these building trades, unless you're getting city funded, subsidized money, the housing market's still going to take a beating. The materials are up, the prices are up. I don't know how they're trying to sell the American dream.
Well, Joe, to that point, for listeners today, maybe you did see it. She's talking about a social housing, and it's $30 billion we would plunk down so that people can get into housing. That's just from taxpayers. That's all that it is. And to your point, it's not going to work that way. It only works when the market is there for it.
And there's a difference between, and I made the mistake of telling Jim, affordable housing. There's a big difference between the American dream and affordable housing. Because I even in the farmlands of Burlington County, I see these. I don't even call them apartment. I call them compartment complexes going up. You're going to have a cube to live in. You're not going to have any quality of life.
Exactly. Joe, who's your person when you think of something that they're the face of it?
Babe Ruth. And baseball.
Yep, I hear you. That's a pretty good face. We all know, though, he was an inferior hitter to Ted Williams, who's just otherworldly. But as far as baseball and big, I named Babe Ruth, too. You can't beat that. All-time great. All right, Jim Lee. I'm not sure if it's former or he'll tell us in a second. Had good conversation. He came on the show before, even though we differed, from Springfield Township. He'll be with us next. At least according to the material I have, he's a signatory to this Welcome Refugees thing that I've been talking about. Nearly 500 bipartisan state local officials from all 50 states welcome refugee resettlement in their communities. Do people want that in Springfield Township? In Winmore, they identify him from. And if so, what are the numbers that would be acceptable? How does he think about Charleroi or Springfield, Ohio? He is next here. Hey, how are your cholesterol levels? Managing healthy cholesterol is key to a strong heart and overall wellness for over 38 years. Rescue Natural Supplements has been a trusted ally in helping people reach their cholesterol goals. I've counted on Rescue for years, and with good reason. Their range of supplements is designed to meet your specific needs, from omega-3s to red yeast rice and more. Take charge of your heart health today. Use the code DROP at checkout to double your order on any cholesterol product for free. Call them today at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant, or use the code online when you visit res-q.com, res-q.com. Remember to use that code DROP. Buy one, get one free on Rescue Cholesterol products. Double up your cholesterol support today. Use the code DROP, D-R-O-P, at res-q.com.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan. Warm and pleasant conditions are in the forecast as we head into the weekend. A mixture of sunshine and clouds today. It will be less humid with a high 84. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 66 for the city, cooler in the suburbs. And for Friday, partly sunny and pleasant with a high 81.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Today, we're the largest injury firm in the world, and I'm thankful to you for trusting us all these years. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F-words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile. And you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
Detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever, overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and Trump has also proposed severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control, we'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for president.
With NJ Diet, you can lose 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. They have customers that have lost 37 pounds, 100 pounds, and over 120 pounds, and they've kept it off. You'll have more energy, and you'll probably see better lab results. NJ Diet uses your hair, saliva, and blood work to provide you personalized natural formulas and supplements so you can lose the weight, and DNA testing will help you keep it off. Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days, contractually guaranteed. Go to njdiet.com.
Land Rover is more than a luxury vehicle. It's a lifestyle. Range Rover, Defender, and Discovery, 3 exclusive brands, each with distinct characteristics that reflect unique driving needs. To ensure the finest ownership experience, every new Range Rover, Defender, and Discovery vehicle is covered by a 4-year or 50,000-mile limited warranty, 24-hour roadside assistance, and more. Visit one of 4 convenient locations: Land Rover Willow Grove, Westchester, Wilmington, and Harrisburg. Part of Piazza Premium Automobiles.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com. Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, big issues, big guest. Jim Lee was generous enough to come on the show before. Out there in Springfield Township, Winmore, when we differed on this police First Amendment issue. His father was a high-ranking Philadelphia cop at one point, and he joins us because I saw his name as a signatory to this welcoming refugees thing where the people signing it say, yes, their community would welcome this. So we wanted to explore that with Jim a little bit. Hey, Jim, welcome back. Are you still the head person of the commissioners over in Springfield Township?
Yes, hello, Dom. I'm still the president of the Board of Commissioners.
Okay. And, Jim, I thought this is legitimate, right? The people that signed off here, we've contacted several. You were a signatory?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Tell me what's your thought process, and I want to take my time and let you flesh out several things here that are making national news. So why sign this? What were you trying to do?
Sure. And I heard you quoted some of the excerpts in your show the other day. when it came up. And, for anyone who's read it, the statement very clearly is to show support for the program that was established by the Refugee Act that was passed on a bipartisan basis in 1980, signed under President Carter. It was championed under President Reagan and beyond. So the statement advocates that the administration preserve and strengthen that program so that it stays effective and solvent for years to come. And I hope you already know that the U.S. has accepted refugees as part of legal immigration for generations, long before 1980. And this legislation provides a structure and guidelines that really enjoyed widespread support from Americans. So honestly, when I was alerted by someone the other day when I was being criticized, locally and for supporting the statement and talked about on your show, I was kind of racking my brain, thinking about what the heck letter did I sign that would be so controversial. I didn't think it could be.
All right, I could explain. Given what's in the news,
Jim.
No, yeah, well, given what's in the news, then that means you would support it. You think your community, you would welcome refugees coming there.
Well, would you not welcome refugees in your community as part of this program?
Well, Jim, I'll answer that, though. Would you answer mine first and just tell me, would you?
Yes, I would welcome
all right. Well,
my township just like any township would.
Oh, well, I don't know about that. So I wanted to ask you then, because we see what's happened here with the Haitians by executive order, it's 300,000 plus. If you would accept it, are there criteria, are there things that you would demand if this program were going to come into Springfield Township, or would you just accept it in the way these towns have had to deal with it?
Well, one, I'm not aware of the 300,000 you're talking about.
Well, that's a total nationwide, Jim. That's executive order of the Biden administration. It might even be more to resettle people from Haiti.
Okay. Frankly, I'm just not aware of that.
Okay.
And what the letter supports is the current program. I think the current limit among all countries is 175,000, and even last year, under 61,000 were even admitted under the program. So currently it's well under average for the existence of the program. So,
okay, but
to
look,
answer your question, I would sign this letter 1,000 times again in my
okay,
state.
but
look, I know
look at the results.
Has been a leader in accepting refugees for literally generations.
All right, I'm asking you though. So then, if the federal government sends them here, we've had the Charleroi people on Springfield, Ohio. It's very difficult to get on, but both places, another place in Alabama, there's 5 or 6 now, Jim. What happened in Charleroi, according to both the mayor and the city councilman, suddenly in a town of 4,000, about 2,000 people are the influx. Business seems to have brought them there. Would you not object to that?
Well, number one, part of strengthening the program is making it so that the resettlement process makes sense, that people go and are settled where it makes sense for them and the community. So we have a lot not in common with Springfield, Ohio, and just I hope your listeners know that we're talking Springfield Township, Montgomery County.
Yes.
Not Springfield, Ohio, that was in the news, right? So,
but Jim, excuse me, who determines that it makes sense, though? Who is it? The federal government and the businesses said that, but not the people of these towns that we're talking about.
Well, that's just not true.
It is true.
The leadership of Springfield, Ohio, is on record saying that they made a concerted effort a decade ago to actually welcome refugees to help the kind of job force that they did.
Wait a minute.
And Ohio is run by Republicans.
Then wait a minute. They're not on record saying, wait a minute. They're not on record saying they wanted 20,000 people to be brought into a town of about 58,000.
Okay, well, I can tell you, you're asking me about Springfield, Montgomery County, okay?
Yeah, okay. Well, let's try Charleroi.
We don't have a similar community like that.
I'll give you Charleroi. Small town in Westmoreland, Jim, then I'll give you a chance. I've had them on, and they said, the councilman and the mayor, suddenly, through this backdoor-like process, they have 2,000 Haitians. Jim, they have 45 in the kindergarten class who only speak Creole or French. So would you not demand certain things if you're going to offer Springfield Township that you're going to resettle people there?
Well, you absolutely work with the government to make sure that's right, the federal government and that agency. But you're using an extreme example of that happened years ago. And I would like to answer about my township.
Sure.
You invited me on. I'm just trying to get a
yeah,
thought
go ahead.
Sort of finish.
Go ahead. Yeah.
And Springfield is a very highly developed small township. We don't have the type of manufacturing needs and demands that they do. Our price of living is, cost of living is relatively high. There's really just not a fit. And that's not to say that we shouldn't be welcoming if there is a fit for someone to live and work here and contribute to our community. The idea is to be welcoming of that. That's as American as apple pie.
Well,
So
Jim, let me just put the flying
you're
ointment.
fear that there's going to be these busloads of hundreds of migrants, overtaking our town. It's just not reality.
It is reality, Jim. What's happened here is communities like yours, who I wouldn't say are affluent, but they're middle and up, are not being decimated by this. It's these rundown communities where people decide they're going to overwhelm them with numbers. That's what the issue is.
And Springfield, Ohio had to put an FAQ on their website to debunk a lot of these heinous theories that are going on and correcting a lot of it. You can check it out yourself. Go to Springfield, Ohio's
Well,
website.
what theories are you talking about? No, wait a
minute.
minute. I'm not saying the animals and all that stuff. That's another day here. But the reckless driving, the inability to assimilate, the overwhelming of the schools, the health services, those are real.
Absolutely. No one is making the case that immigration and granting refugee status to a number of people doesn't have downsides to it. Life is hard. Any community is hard. But there's also upsides to it. And it's also what being America is about. So I'm not going to tell you it's perfect. I'm not going to say there's no downsides to welcoming legal immigration and refugees to your community. But the answer is not to say we unwelcome you. You're not welcome here. There's no way I'm saying that.
Well, it seems, Jim, more than seems, that there's my sense of this is the problem that certain more well-heeled communities don't have to do any of this. They're not doing any of this. And these other communities are being overwhelmed by it.
So I answered your question first. Let me ask you, do you think we should not allow refugees at all in America?
No, of course not. But I would
Okay.
I would
So
not
we
I
should
would
allow
not
them
be
somewhere.
Yeah, but I would not be, Jim. Here's the point. I would not be when I'm looking at this refugee status. I'm going to be more limited than you would be. This is going to be based. It's the same thing we hear with people wanting to flee to the United States because they're fearful and all that. Okay. And I get that. It's mainly economic, though. And with Haiti, I think it's mainly economic. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Haiti didn't even crack the top 12 of country of origin last year. They were lumped into an other category of number 13. So also you should know that in the 80s, there were many years where the number of refugees that were legally accepted was around 200,000. Last year was under 61,000. Historically, we're way lower. So if you're okay with refugees, where are you okay with them?
Well, Jim, I think that comes down to the people in those towns, and they are rejecting it. Do you differ with that? I mean, I've had them on. Do you think this is all made up, that they're upset over these numbers?
Springfield, Ohio has clearly not rejected it.
They have not? Have you seen the people there at town meetings?
Have you seen the stats and the facts put out by their Republican government?
The stats about driving, reckless driving, some of the people that are being killed, the school bus crash, the stats on the schools being overwhelmed, the stats on the healthcare system being overwhelmed.
All those are accurate. I'm not going to expect you to list the positives that come out of it, but the 5 that they listed were the biggest downsides. You named some of them: the driving rules,
right,
which they've implemented some programs to make it better; language barriers, lack of resources in housing, healthcare, school, no doubt about it. A general rise in population, and one of the top 5 was racism and discrimination. So nowhere in there was crime. You'll note they have a very low crime rate as it relates to their immigrants over years. So there are downsides. Yes, it is. There's some downsides to that, but there's also upsides in that town from having a robust workforce that a lot of people there are thankful for.
Okay, well, we will see. I'm not there on the ground. I would concede that. It just seems to me, though, we are seeing a lot of people at these town meetings. I do know about Charleroi, though, the officials we brought on, Jim, and they have real problems there. What else is on the agenda, since you were good enough to come on over in Springfield Township? Is there any issue right now as we head into the election cycle? Anything top of mind?
No, I mean, we have our normal problems as any township, but I will note that, back to this again, that, if you don't agree with the law again, that's been in place for 40 some years, you can advocate for changing that law. I didn't hear you say that when you were framing this for your audience. If you think the law is bad or needs tightening, stand up for that. That's fine.
What I think is bad, Jim,
I've
been very clear. My sense is communities that like this stuff, they feel good about themselves, the position you're taking, I understand. They are not being inundated with this. These other communities are.
Okay, well, that part of strengthening and supporting this program is doing a better job of where that's happening. So one town doesn't have the burden more than others.
Okay.
I am a huge believer in shared responsibility. That's why I want my town to be welcoming, because if every town is welcoming, we all share, and the burden doesn't fall on one particular person. It makes us all better.
All right. Well, Jim, thank you again. I enjoy it when someone comes on and we differ. To be continued, though.
Okay.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you very much.
Check out Ronald Reagan's quotes from the 80s. He has a lot to say about it.
All right. Thank you very much. And that was the biggest mistake Ronald Reagan admitted of that deal with illegal immigration that he made. Biggest mistake. He said it several times of his presidency. All right. Lightning round, and we'll get a winner next. Hey, this year, FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, is giving you a chance to win big every Thursday night with FanDuel Squares. It's the same Super Bowl Squares game you've always known, only better. That's because your numbers are not randomly assigned. You get to pick them yourself. You can pick as many as you like. You'll see the odds beforehand, and you can bet them live during the game. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com/Dom. Bet on Squares. Plus, if you're new to FanDuel, you get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place that first $5 bet. FanDuel Sportsbook, the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Just 2 years ago, Bob Casey told us his vote for a $1 trillion spending spree would miraculously reduce inflation. Casey promised his vote will reduce inflation. Have you been to a grocery store lately? Did Casey reduce anything except his credibility? In fact, it was Bob Casey's vote for reckless spending that caused this inflation in the first place. Prices went up, and now you're paying more for almost everything. Casey admits he failed. Prices have skyrocketed. Just listen to Casey.
You have boneless chicken going up 38%, and paper products like toilet paper going up 35%.
Groceries cost more. Rent and housing cost more. Pennsylvania families are struggling. Casey promised to fix this mess. Instead, he made it worse. Bob Casey failed. We need a change to get back on track. It's time to change Washington. It's time to fire Bob Casey. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Revamp your living space with Emmons Remodeling.
Our seasoned designers and construction experts bring creativity and expertise to every project, ensuring stunning results for you and your family.
From new layouts to upgraded finishes, at Emmons Remodeling, we do it all.
So call us today at 856-885-6677 or visit us on the web at callemmons.com. From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
This is a commercial for California Psychics, America's most trusted psychic network. So, if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. No, really, this is it. You won't see your soulmate's face in the clouds or your career path mapped out in your cappuccino foam. This really is it. We could add some dramatic sound effects if you'd like. So what you waiting for?
Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Wow, honey, have you seen the electric bill?
Yeah, it's out of control. But have you heard of Navien tankless water heaters?
Tankless? How does that even work?
Well, instead of constantly heating and storing water, it only heats water when we need it. So much more efficient than our giant tank heater.
That sounds great. Let's look into Navien.
Already on it.
Imagine all the hot water you need only when you need it. Bulky tanks are history. Navien high-efficiency tankless is the future. Compact, wall-hung units free up floor space, lower energy bills, longer life than tanks, and a 15-year warranty. Find out more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
That is right. Tip of the hat to Henry, by the way. Great booking today. You heard Jim Lee. You heard what I think about it. We'll continue that. By the way, the Lightning Round sponsored every day by Cherry Hill Volvo. Enjoy back-to-school savings on a 36-month lease of an exciting C40, only $369 per month down payment. Taxes and registration fees due at inception, except no taxes on the C40 in New Jersey. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo today. Say hello to Judith. Big award last night at the ZOA event, and very well deserving. All right, let me go to Joe in Exton on Talk Radio 1210. All right, Joe, who's yours?
Yes, hello, Dom, and good afternoon. My person who represents broadcasting erudition is Dennis Prager, whose ability to identify, describe, and explain the motivation of political and cultural factions is without equal.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, he fits right into your brand, Joe, without a doubt. Scott in Mount Laurel on Talk Radio 1210. Scott, afternoon. Who's yours?
I got Al Capone, the face of organized crime. He has not been around. He was in his prime almost 100 years ago, and yet everyone knows who he is today, and he is absolutely – I can't think of anybody else who even is associated with it like he is.
That is a very, very good one. All right, Henry, give me some of your contenders today.
Well, I think there's two in my mind, and they're both Al's.
Okay.
I really liked Robert and Ben Salem's call of Al Bundy, greatest shoe salesman of all time.
It's outside the box.
Yeah. And then right there, Scott in Mount Laurel with Al Capone. I mean, he sold it for me there.
He did. I like the Al Capone. No offense to Robert. I like that one, too. But Al Capone goes into the hat. Scott in Mount Laurel. Tomorrow, we will have the winner. Got a lot of great people coming on tomorrow. Follow me on Twitter until then at DomShow1210, at DomShow1210. Honored last night. I hope you saw on YouTube. And Rich honored also for what our coverage really of what happened on October 7th. Richie always next, though, with 4 big hours here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you ready for retirement? Have you prepared